my own space station. Hey! Look who's back for more adventures. We love having you here to continue this story that keeps us all awake. Important note, all of this is pure fiction, so don't try any techniques you hear here in real life. Your neighbor might call the cops. This amazing novel and all its rights belong to the original author. We're just the ones giving it voice and drama. Are you enjoying the show? Prove it by subscribing to our YouTube channel and leaving that like that motivates us so much. And if you want VIP access to exclusive content, our Patreon is waiting with things you won't find anywhere else. Chapter 351 Conquering Phoenix Mountain. Their first stop was the Phoenix Mountain resettlement in Phoenix City. Phoenix City is a county-level city under the jurisdiction of Dongfang City, and administratively, it is also under the management of Xin. However, Newfanling, the leader of the temporary command team of the Phoenix Mountain resettlement, had long stopped listening to Xin's orders, so his first goal was to clean him up. First, the train tracks led directly to the foot of Phoenix Mountain, and the 50,000 civilian soldiers led by Xin arrived outside the Phoenix Mountain resettlement in about 2 hours. Listen up, people inside. I am Xin, the mayor of Dongfang City. I order you to open the city gate immediately. Xin shouted at the city walls. The patrol team on the city wall saw that the people outside were not zombies but people, and they were puzzled. Now they heard someone shouting that he was Xin, and they didn't know what to do. Soon, Newfanling received the news and rushed over. Mayor, what are you doing at Phoenix Mountain in the middle of the night? Newfanling shouted from the city wall. Leader New, do I need to report to you what I do? Xin retorted, that's not necessary. It's just that there are zombies everywhere at night, and I'm worried that it's not safe for Mayor to travel outside. Newfanling explained. Humph. You also know it's not safe, so why don't you quickly open the city gate and let us in? Xin certainly didn't believe his words. I'm sorry, Mayor, it's too dark, and we really don't dare to open the gate. If zombies take the opportunity to run in, the people of the entire resettlement will suffer. Newfanling refused, making excuses. The two of them were having a casual conversation here, actually saying it for others to hear. Xin wanted the soldiers to understand why they were attacking the Phoenix Mountain resettlement, which was that this Newfanling was disobedient and didn't follow orders, and Newfanling said this to make the people in the resettlement understand that there was a reason why he didn't follow orders, and that it was for everyone's safety to launch a campaign. There must be a just cause. If the campaign is without a just cause, the people below will not have unified thinking, and if the people's hearts are not aligned, they will not be able to exert their combat effectiveness, and it will not be easy to manage. That's nonsense. Where did the zombies come from? If there were zombies, could we still be standing here? Xin retorted, that's hard to say. Now there's a large crowd under the city, who knows which one is a person and which one is a zombie? Newfanling said. Nonsense, Newfanling, I see that you just don't want to obey management and are deliberately fabricating reasons. Security team members inside. I, in my capacity as the mayor of Dongfang City, announced the dismissal of Newfanling from the position of leader of the temporary command team of the Phoenix Mountain resettlement. Whoever can capture him and open the city gate, I will appoint as the new leader. Xin tried to divide them with benefits. He didn't have much hope for this trick. It was just a means of delaying time. He had already sent a small team to quietly cross Phoenix Mountain, planning a secret maneuver. It would be fake if the security team members on the city wall were not tempted. How easy is it to become the person in charge of a resettlement? Of course, conversely, if they had such courage and vision, they wouldn't be reduced to being security team members. So, some people were tempted, but no one acted. Don't be deceived by him. This person is kind-faced but ruthless. Everyone must not believe him. Newfanling said quickly, feeling a little guilty. Newfanling, is this how you evaluate your leader? As the mayor of Dongfang City, I have the power to dismiss you. Everyone listen. Newfanling is no longer the person in charge of the resettlement. I order you to open the city gate immediately and let us into the city, Xin said unhurriedly. The security team members did not know the true situation, and no one dared to move. Another crucial point is that it is too dark now. They cannot see the specific situation under the city, so they dare not rashly execute Xin's order. Another hour passed, and the time came to the darkest moment before dawn. The small team sent out by Xin had successfully crossed a mountain and quietly sneaked into the resettlement. Bang bang bang, someone fired a gun. Newfanling was startled when he heard gunshots inside the city. There were no decent weapons in the Phoenix Mountain resettlement, at most a few pistols. But Xin's people were using uniformly equipped K-8 assault rifles. The firepower on both sides was not on the same level, so they quickly attacked the city walls. Stop them! Stop them quickly! Newfoundling shouted loudly when he saw someone rushing over. Unfortunately, fighting is not about shouting. How can you stop them with inferior weapons? Seeing that the situation was not good, the security team members all found places to hide. No one wanted to risk their lives. The city gate was open. Xin ordered the main force to rush in. He himself was still standing outside the city under the protection of a small team. Bullets have no eyes. It is safer outside. It was like using a sledgehammer to crack a nut to have tens of thousands of people fight against a security team with no weapons. When the sun rose, the battle ended. Xin gathered the people together and held a criticism meeting. The protagonist of the criticism was Newfoundling. He successively listed several of Newfoundling's crimes, letting everyone know how heinous he was. After the criticism meeting, Newfoundling was executed on the spot. The people who did not know the inside story applauded and praised Xin as a good official who did justice for the people. Chapter 352 Arrival in Pinxi City. After the denunciation meeting, Xin appointed a new person in charge of the resettlement camp. 50,000 civilian soldiers rested here briefly at 10 a.m. Xin led the soldiers out again, their next destination being Pinxi City. Pinxi City is a prefecture-level city in Liaoshan Province, located east of Fengshan City and west of Andong City. Pinxi City has 3 resettlement camps under its jurisdiction: Nangao Resettlement Camp, Biga Resettlement Camp, and Zihu Resettlement Camp. The geographical locations of the 3 resettlement camps are Biga Resettlement Camp in the north, Zihu Resettlement Camp in the south, and Nangao Resettlement Camp in the middle. Xin planned to bypass Zihu Resettlement Camp and head directly to Nangao Resettlement Camp, because the mayor of Pinxi City was there. As long as Nangao Resettlement Camp was taken, the other 2 resettlement camps would be easy to deal with. It was 80 kilometers from Fenghuang City to Pinxi City, and the extensive railway network spared them the hardship of traveling. Taking Nangao Resettlement Camp was not difficult. The difficulty lay in the fact that Pinxi City was not within his jurisdiction. Even if he captured it, the people below might not obey him. If he wanted to convince the people of the resettlement camp, he had to put on a good show and package the attack as an act of justice. Xin had a plan for this. Around 12 o'clock noon, the train arrived near Nangao Resettlement Camp. Xin let most of the soldiers rest on the train, only taking about 1,000 people with him. Lun Jianyan, the mayor of Pinxi City, was acquainted with Xin, but not familiar with him. "Who are you?" the patrolling soldiers at the gate asked loudly and guardedly as soon as Xin arrived at the city. Because there were no zombie attacks during the day, the resettlement camp city gate would be open for a period of time. During this time, the security team was divided into 2 groups, one inside and one outside the city. To be on duty, the soldier who asked the question at this time was the security team member on duty outside the city. "Little brother, I am Xin, the mayor of Andong City. I have an urgent matter to see your mayor, Lun Jianyan. Please report it," Xin said, pretending to be very tired. When the security team member heard that it was the mayor of Andong City, he did not dare to be presumptuous and immediately ran into the city. More than half an hour passed, and the team member ran back alone. "What's going on, little brother?" Xin asked. "Mayor, our mayor Lun is not feeling well and will not come to meet you. He asked me to take you there," the team member replied breathlessly. It seemed that the prevention awareness of many resettlement camps was not strong enough, and it was too easy to let wolves into the house. "It's okay, then you lead the way," Xin said, secretly overjoyed. "Okay, mayor, please." The team member politely gestured in this way. Xin led more than 1,000 armed soldiers swaggering into Nangao Resettlement Camp. "Mayor Lun, I haven't seen you for a while. How did you get so sick?" Xin asked with concern after seeing Lun Jianyan. "Mayor, you are laughing at me. This is actually an old problem, but it has become more serious since this year," Lun Jianyan said weakly. "What is the specific disease?" Xin asked. "Stomach cancer, late stage," Lun Jianyan replied, without avoiding it. "This," Xin shook his head, indicating that the disease really could not be cured now. "Mayor, I wonder what you came to me for today," Lun Jianyan asked. "Alice." "Mayor Lun, I originally came here to ask you for help, but now it is really difficult to say." Xin sighed and shook his head. "Mayor doesn't need to have any scruples. I will definitely help as long as I can," Lun Jianyan stated. "Then I'll be frank. Our 5 Dragon Mountain resettlement camp was attacked by zombies last night, and many people died. I led the surviving people all the way here and now we have nowhere to go." Xin said. Lun Jianyan was speechless after listening. He regretted that he had spoken too fully. His promise to help Xin was based on the fact that he still had value. He knew that he did not have much time left and wanted to pave the way for his son before he died. Andong City and Bunchi City were neighbors, and it would be very beneficial for his son to be on good terms with them, but who would have thought that this Xin was actually a stray dog? It was obviously not worthwhile to help him for nothing. Then Mayor means, Lun Jianian pretended not to understand. Oh, I just wanted to ask Mayor Lun, can you take in the people of my Andong City? Xin asked. Mayor, if I remember correctly, Andong City also has a resettlement camp, called, it seems to be called Fenghuang Mountain Resettlement Camp, right? Did you go there to take a look? Lun Jianian asked. To be honest, I came from there. Something happened to Fenghuang Mountain too, and there is not a single living person left now. Xin lead, is it that serious? Lun Jianian was a little surprised. Yes. Otherwise, why would I have run all the way here to ask you for help? Xin even used the word beg. Mayor, as you also know, Pinxi is a small place with a small population in a small area. Even if I want to take you in, I don't have the ability. Lun Jianian was refusing. If Mayor Lun feels embarrassed, it doesn't matter. I'll think of other ways. Xin didn't care. Chapter 353. I don't ask about the process. If Mayor truly has nowhere to go, I do have a suggestion, Lun Jianian said, changing the subject. Oh? I'm all ears, Xin said curiously. It's like this. I originally planned to move the resettlement center to Zihu, but the person in charge there, Li Su, has been uncooperative. As you can see, my current physical condition really can't take any more tossing around. If Mayor can step in to resolve this matter, then I'll give you the Nanga Resettlement Center, Lun Jianian said. Lun Jianian actually wanted to merge all three resettlement centers into Zihu. Then I wonder how Mayor Lun wants to resolve this, Xin asked. I won't ask about the process, as long as I can get the result, Lun Jianian explained. Alright, then I'll give it a try, Xin replied. After a moment of consideration after listening to Lun Jianian's plan, Xin decided to adjust his own originally. He wanted to take down Inangao directly, and then take advantage of the momentum to take down Bigao and Zihu. But now, Lun Jianian wants to merge the three resettlement centers into one place, which just saves him the trouble of doing it himself. Then I'll have to trouble Mayor, Lun Jianian said with a slight smile. You're too kind. But after all, I'm an outsider. Even if I go to talk, that Li Su definitely won't listen to me. So I want to borrow someone, Xin made a request. Oh? Who do you want to borrow? Lun Jianian asked. Anyone will do, as long as it's someone Mayor Lun trusts and Li Su also knows, Xin said. Then let my secretary go with you. Lun Jianian agreed after thinking for a moment. Xiao Wu, you've heard it too. Go with Mayor, Lun Jianian said to the young man standing beside him. Okay, Mayor Lun. Wu Zan nodded in response. Then without further ado, I'll set off now. Xin stood up, preparing to leave. So soon? Lun Jianian didn't expect Xin to be so anxious, wanting to leave as soon as he said so. There are still many people outside the city who are unsettled. I'm worried that if I delay for too long, someone will cause trouble, Xin explained. Alright, Lun Jianian felt that something was wrong, but he couldn't put his finger on it. After Xin left the Nanga Resettlement Center, he first had Secretary Wu Zan wait in the car, and then made other arrangements for the more than 1,000 soldiers he had brought. Once everything was arranged, Wu Zan drove Xin towards the Zihu Resettlement Center. Xin only brought 5 people with him. Xiao Wu, do you know much about Li Su? What kind of person is he? Xin asked in the car. I don't know too much, mainly about his work. How should I put it? This person seems quite amiable. It's just that after dealing with him for a long time, you'll find that he just talks a good game, but basically doesn't do anything practical, Wu Zan said after thinking for a moment. You're an interesting secretary, Xin said with a smile. Mayor, did I say something wrong? Wu Zan looked at the road while turning his head to glance at him, wanting to find some answers from his expression. This is probably a secretary's professional habit. No, you said it well. I just rarely see a secretary like you who doesn't shy away from speaking his mind, Xin explained. Oh, I definitely wouldn't have said such divisive words in the past. But now, it doesn't matter, Wu Zan said with a smile. Xin nodded. If Mayor Lun is no longer around one day, would you consider working for me? Xin asked tentatively. Wu Zan was a little surprised. No rush, you can take your time to consider it, Xin said. Oh, okay, I'll consider it, Wu Zan replied verbally. However, he didn't have that thought in his heart. After all, Xin still wanted to live under someone else's roof. Xiao Wu, when we get there later, watch my cues. No matter what I say, you have to cooperate with me, remember, Xin instructed in the car. Okay, Mayor Wu Zan nodded solemnly. Half an hour later, they arrived at the Zihu Resettlement Center. Young man, I'm from the Nanga Resettlement Center. I have a very urgent matter to see Team Leader Li. Please go and report it quickly, Xin said to the team member on duty at the gate. The team member immediately went in to report, and soon Xin and his party of 7 were brought into the resettlement center. Yo. Isn't this Secretary Wu? What wind has blown you here today? Li Su saw that one of them was the mayor's secretary and pretended to flatter him. Team Leader Li, this is... Wu Zan was just about to introduce him when he was interrupted. Oh, Team Leader Li, hello. I'm Xiaolin, the deputy team leader of the temporary command team at the Nanga Resettlement Center, Xin said, making up a story. Xiaolin? I don't remember having someone like you. Li Su frowned, a little puzzled. That's not right, you look very familiar. Li Su looked at Xin for a long time and suddenly felt that he looked somewhat familiar. Familiar? Maybe we met at a meeting before, Xin explained. After all, Xin is the mayor of Ondong City, and he appears in public a lot, so it's normal for Li Su to find him familiar. Chapter 354. What do you want? Is that so? Li Su still felt something was off, but he really couldn't remember what it was. Xin quietly gave Wu Zan a look, signaling him not to say too much. Wu Zan nodded slightly, indicating he understood. Team Leader Li, I'm here today because I have something urgent to discuss with you. Xin quickly changed the subject. Oh? What is it, Deputy Team Leader Zhao? Li Su asked. It's not convenient to talk here. Xin looked around. Come with me. Li Su nodded and led them into his office. Now you can talk, Li Su said, closing the door. It's like this, Team Leader Li, you know about Mayor Lun's illness, right? Xin asked. Yes, I know. Then do you know what kind of illness he has? I know. Deputy Team Leader Zhao, if you have something to say, just say it directly. Li Su was a little unhappy with Xin's roundabout way of speaking. Xin didn't understand the situation in Pinxi City, and was asking these questions to lay the groundwork for what was to come. Team Leader Li, this morning, Lun Jianian died. Xin leaned in and said softly, what? Li Su was shocked. Wu Zan next to him was also stunned. What is this about? Wu Zan didn't understand. Li Su was also a shrewd person. Xin directly called Mayor Lun by his given name, so he roughly guessed the purpose of his visit today. He looked at Wu Zan with a sharp gaze. Wu Zan hadn't figured out the situation yet. Being looked at like that by Li Su, cold sweat instantly broke out. Xin patted Wu Zan, signaling him not to be afraid, and explained, Team Leader Li, Wu Zan is one of us, otherwise I wouldn't have brought him here. Hearing his explanation, Li Su lowered his guard. This was the reason Xin asked Lun Jianian for someone. If he had come alone, Li Su wouldn't have believed a word. With Wu Zan, the secretary, present, the effect was different. Lun Jianian died. Li Su asked Wu Zan. Yes, he did. Wu Zan was a little nervous. Xin had told him on the way here that he must cooperate with him, so Wu Zan could only admit it at this time. When did it happen? Li Su continued to ask. Today? This morning? Wu Zan's hands were clenched tightly. What time? Li Su continued to press for details. 10. A little after 10. Wu Zan had no choice but to make up a time. After answering, he looked at Xin, worried that he had said something wrong. What's the situation like on the South Ditch side now? Li Su then asked. Team Leader Li, the news hasn't spread yet. Only a very few people know, Xin answered on his behalf. Seeing Xin helping him out, Wu Zan quickly nodded. Li Su looked at Xin suspiciously. Then why did you come to me? Li Su asked. Team Leader Li, let's not beat around the bush. Lun Jianian planned to give his position to his son. Do you think that's appropriate? Xin asked. Li Su didn't answer. What's that supposed to mean? Does Lun Jianian really think he's an emperor? Still doing the hereditary thing? That good-for-nothing son of his hasn't even grown all his hair yet. Why should he manage the 3 resettlement areas? Xin was making his position clear. Li Su still didn't speak. Team Leader Li, I know you definitely won't listen to that little brat either. So I'm here today to ask you to help me take the position of team leader of the South Ditch resettlement area. After it's done, South Ditch and Zihu will be on the same level. In the future, we'll each manage our own areas, helping each other out. What do you think? Xin stated his purpose. Li Su looked at Wu Zan's expression, but still didn't say anything. Team Leader Li, say something. Xin raised his voice, urging him, looking a little impatient. Why do you think I would help you? Li Su asked. Team Leader Li, there's no deal that can't be made, only prices that can't be agreed upon, wouldn't you say? Xin stared at him intently as he asked. Li Su smiled slightly. Indicating his agreement, Team Leader Li, just tell me, how can you help me? Seeing that Li Su was tempted, Xin took the topic a step further. Deputy Team Leader Zhao, that depends on what you're willing to offer. Li Su didn't state his conditions, of course, in this kind of situation. He definitely had to hear what Xin's price range was first. How about this? After it's done, the title of Pinxi City Mayor will be yours. Xin said. Li Su didn't answer clearly. This condition wasn't enough. Then Team Leader Li, what do you want? Xin asked. These empty titles are meaningless. It's better to have something substantial, Li Su said. Name it. Xin seemed ready to part with something he cherished. I want cars, gasoline, and grain. Li Su said what he wanted. There probably isn't much gasoline left in the resettlement area. Xin looked a little embarrassed. Since there isn't much left, just give it all to me. How about it? All right. I agree. Xin slapped his thigh forcefully and agreed through gritted teeth. Great. Since there's no gasoline, I don't think you have any use for keeping the cars. Give them all to me too, Li Su said. Team Leader Li, leave me a few cars. I can buy gasoline from you. Xin definitely couldn't agree to everything, as that would make people think he had ulterior motives. Chapter 355. Wu Zan joins Quexin. Okay. What about the grain? How about this? Each month, I'll give you 20% of the grain allocated from above. 50%. Li Su was a bit greedy. 50% is too much? The people will riot. How about 30%? Is that okay with you? 40%. Alright, 40% it is. Xin seemed to have made a huge decision. So, is it a deal? It's a deal. Then tell me, what do you need me to do? Li Su asked. I want you to take some men over there and take control of the headquarters. I'll take care of the rest, Xin said. How many men do you need? Li Su thought for a moment and asked. The more, the better, of course. Xin replied without hesitation. It was this sentence that made Li Su trust him completely and agree without hesitation. The deal was settled at 3 in the afternoon. Li Su led a full 1,000 men, heading towards the Nanga resettlement camp in a mighty force. He thought that bringing so many people would guarantee success, but he didn't expect an accident to happen just as they were about to reach Nangao. The route from Zihu to Nangao inevitably passed through a place called Fire Link Valley. Xin had ordered people to set up an ambush there before they set off. And now Li Su had fallen into the trap. The difference in weapons was too great. Most of Li Su's men were quickly injured, and the rest all raised their hands in surrender. Xin didn't intend to kill them all. He had them sit together and arranged for 200 soldiers to guard them. Vice Team Leader Zhao, what are you doing? Li Su saw Xin walking over and asked. He himself had been tied up and looked a little embarrassed. Team Leader Li, I'm sorry, I'm just carrying out a task assigned by Lun Jianian, Xin said. You tricked me. Li Su could tell from his words that Lun Jianian wasn't dead. Team Leader Li, all's fair in war. The winner is king, the loser is an outlaw, wouldn't you agree? Xin said calmly. You don't just want to complete Lun Jianian's mission, do you? What exactly is your purpose? Li Su could tell that Xin and Lun Jianian were not on the same side. Take Team Leader Li down to rest. Xin ordered. The soldiers obeyed and took Li Su away. Mayor, you probably didn't escape from Ondong City, did you? After seeing the sophistication of Xin's equipment, Wu Zan realized that he might be lying. Little Wu, you're right, I didn't escape. Ondong City is fine, everyone is living well, Xin admitted without concealing anything. Then what are you? Wu Zan was a little confused. Remember the question I asked you when we came? Have you considered following me? Xin asked. This, Wu Zan hadn't considered it before, but now that he had seen his strength, he was a little tempted. Little Wu, Lun Jianian is dead. Can you guarantee that his son will still use you? This, without your identity as the mayor's assistant, you might not live so comfortably in the future, Xin said truthfully, and Wu Zan couldn't refute it. He had thought about this question a long time ago, but there was no good solution, so he could only take things one step at a time. Now that Xin was revealing his cards at this time, it was to make him choose if he didn't agree to be recruited, and now knew secrets he shouldn't know. Xin probably wouldn't let him leave. Little Wu, you've seen the current situation. The Zihu resettlement camp is already in our hands, and I believe the Nanga resettlement camp will be soon too. As long as you agree to follow me, the position of team leader of the Nanga resettlement camp will be yours, Xin said generously. Anyway, there were so many resettlement camps, and he needed many people to manage them. Wu Zan was stunned by the super-sized pie. This was the closest he had ever been to success since he started working. Something he had never even dared to imagine before. His heart was pounding violently with excitement and nervousness. Little Wu, time is tight, You have to tell me your decision now. Xin urged. Wuzong calmed himself down. He knew very well that if he agreed, he would soar to the sky, and if he disagreed, he would die. One thought heaven, one thought hell. There was nothing to hesitate about. I agree. Wuzong gave a definite answer after a little thought. Good. You've made a wise choice. Next, we'll do this. Xin told Wuzong the next plan. Mayor Lun's health isn't good. I'm afraid he won't go in person, will he? Wuzong asked after listening. It doesn't matter whether he goes or not, his son must go. As long as his son is captured by us, you can take action on your side, Xin explained. Okay, Wuzong understood. After settling things with Wuzong, Xin went to see Li Su again. I've been thinking about it for a long time. You're definitely not from the Nanga resettlement camp, Li Su said proactively when he saw Xin walking over. You guessed right, I can tell you now, I am Xin, the mayor of Andong City, Xin replied. Oh. Right. I remember now, you came to Pinxi City for a meeting before, and I saw you once. I was wondering why you looked so familiar, so that's what it was, Li Su suddenly realized. Chapter 356. Just follow the plan. Are you not afraid? Sparrowheart asked. I was afraid at first, but I'm not anymore, Li Su said with a smile. Oh? What makes Leader Li say that? Sparrowheart was curious. I think the fact that I'm still alive is the answer, Li Su said, shrugging his shoulders. Leader Li sees things very clearly. Sparrowheart nodded, complimenting him. Thank you, Mayor Sparrow, for the praise. Is there anything I can do for you? Li Su really saw things clearly and knew his place. I want you to help me put on a show. Thereupon, Sparrowheart explained his plan. Mayor Sparrow, you're aiming high. Li Su was a little surprised after listening. This is nothing. You'll understand later. Now, answer me, what's your decision? Sparrowheart said. Looks like I don't have a choice. Li Su agreed. Good. After it's done, Creek Lake will still be yours, Sparrowheart said. With everything arranged, Sparrowheart brought Wuzong and the captured Li Su back to the South Gully settlement. The sun was about to set. Mayor Sparrow, you're back so soon? It's okay. This matter can't be done in a day or two, Lun Jianian said sarcastically. Assuming Sparrowheart had failed, he didn't really expect Sparrowheart to take Creek Lake. This was just an excuse to refuse him from settling in South Gully. Mayor Lun, Creek Lake hasn't been taken yet, but I brought Li Su back for you, Sparrowheart said calmly. Not taken. What? What did you say? You captured Li Su. Lun Jianian was about to mock him again, but quickly realized the problem. That's right. He's outside. Do you want to bring him in to take a look? Sparrowheart chuckled. Lun Jianian looked at Wuzong, who nodded to indicate it was true. Bring him in. Lun Jianian's expression became serious. Let me go. Let me go. Lun Jianian, you old geezer, you actually dare to plot against me. Li Su started shouting as soon as he entered the door, seemingly putting on a good show. Lun Jianian was overjoyed to see that it was really Li Su, and he didn't care what he was shouting. Ha ha ha, Mayor Sparrow really has the means. You solved the problem that gave me the biggest headache in half a day. Luck. All thanks to luck. Mayor Lun, now that Li Su has been captured, I don't need to handle the matter of taking back the Creek Lake settlement, right? Sparrowheart asked. Lun Jianian naturally understood what this sentence meant. He wouldn't feel relieved letting Sparrowheart take over the settlement. Naturally, there's no need to trouble Mayor Sparrow with such a small matter, Lun Jianian said with a smile. Then the thing you promised, Sparrowheart reminded him. That's easy. After I take over Creek Lake, South Gully will be yours to settle in, Lun Jianian said generously. That's really too kind of you. Mayor Lun, now that Li Su has been captured, Creek Lake might be in chaos at any time. I suggest you send someone over there as soon as possible, lest things change. Sparrowheart wanted to end things here as soon as possible so he could continue to function. Mayor Sparrow is right. Little Wu, make arrangements and have Ninger take people over there first thing tomorrow morning, Lun Jianian instructed. Okay, Mayor Lun, I'll go now. Wuzong nodded in response, then turned and left. Mayor Lun, now that things have been settled, I'll go back first. I'll come back after you've made arrangements. Sparrowheart bid farewell. Mayor Sparrow, take care. Lun Jianian didn't stand on ceremony with him in his opinion. Sparrowheart was just a stray dog, and there was no need to be polite after Sparrowheart left. Lun Jianian sent Wuzong to North Gully settlement overnight, but he never expected that Wuzong had already been bought over by Sparrowheart. Mayor Sparrow, Lun Jianian wants to harm you. Wu Zan didn't go to North Gully and came to Sparrowheart first. Oh? Don't worry, tell me slowly. Sparrowheart wasn't in a hurry. It's like this. Lun Jianian plans to have North Gully send people to feign an attack on South Gully settlement tomorrow. If that happens, you won't be able to take over, Wu Zan explained. What's there to be nervous about? With their few broken guns, they dare to fight with me. Sparrowheart didn't care, that's one thing. Wu Zan was embarrassed to say it. Also what? Sparrowheart asked. He also asked me to secretly sprinkle blood where you're resting tonight to attract zombies. Wu Zan said the dirty plan with his eyes closed. Lun Jianian, Lun Jianian, he's really ruthless. Sparrowheart shook his head inside, but it was clear that he was still very calm. Then what do we do next? Wu Zan asked. We still have to go to North Gully. We'll take the opportunity to clean up that side as well, Sparrowheart replied. But we might not have enough manpower, right? Wu Zan thought Sparrowheart only had about 1,000 people. Don't worry, there will definitely be enough manpower. Just act according to the plan, and I'll take care of the rest. Sparrowheart didn't reveal his bottom line to him. Alright then. Wu Zan didn't say anything more. Early the next morning, North Gully settlement sent more than 2,000 people towards South Gully at the same time. Lun Jianian's son, Lun Yuangning, led dozens of people towards Creek Lake in a great hurry. Chapter 357 Handover Ceremony. Originally, Xin could have ambushed and eliminated the people coming from the North Gu direction midway. However, Lun Jianian had dug his own grave, and Xin simply played along on the other side. Lun Yuangning and his group were intercepted after driving a dozen kilometers. Listen up, people in the cars. Get your asses down here now. Otherwise, I'll riddle you all with bullets. The robbers were all masked and armed with guns. Lun Yuangning, in the car, had never seen such a scene before and was already scared shitless. The bandits didn't care about anything, went over and opened the car doors, and dragged them all out. What's your name? Where are you from? The bandit asked. Big brother. Big brother. Let's talk nicely. My dad is Lun Jianian, the mayor of Pinxi City. As long as you're willing to let us leave, you can name your price. Lun Yuangning announced his family background. Hoping to protect his life with his father's name, he didn't even consider that if these were really bandits, would they easily let him go after knowing he was a big fish. Oh ho. You've got a big mouth. I can name my price. The bandit laughed. Ha ha ha. The other bandits also laughed. They were mocking his stupidity. Yes, 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 whatever you want. Lun Yuangning saw everyone laughing and awkwardly laughed along. Then what if I ask your dad to give up the resettlement camps? The bandit asked. This, Lun Yuangning was dumbfounded. Were there bandits who robbed resettlement camps? What? You're not willing? The bandit threatened. No, no, no. I'm willing, but I can't make the decision, Lun Yuangning said with a wry smile. You don't have to worry about that. It's good that you're willing. Someone, prepare paper and pen for young Master Lun and have him write the transfer agreement, the bandit said pretentiously. Soon someone handed over paper and pen. Young Master Lun, please. Lun Yuangning took the paper and pen, but didn't dare to write. Write it now. Another bandit directly raised his gun and poked him in the waist. Okay, I'll write it. I'll write it now. He leaned on the hood of the car and began to write quickly. Oh, right. Let me remind young Master Lun that we want all 3 resettlement camps, the bandit emphasized. What? Lun Yuangning was no longer calm. If all 3 resettlement camps were given away, his dad would skin him alive. Clack clack. The sound of pulling the gun bolt was a warning that if he didn't agree, they would kill him. Now Lun Yuangning didn't dare to retort and could only nod in agreement. Soon a transfer agreement was written. The bandit snatched the paper and looked at it. Not bad. A cultured person is different, writing everything clearly. Put your fingerprint on it, the bandit said, handing the paper back after reading it. There's no ink pad, Lun Yuangning said. The bandit winked, and someone drew a dagger, walked up to Lun Yuangning, grabbed his hand, and cut it with a knife. Lun Yuangning felt the pain, and blood flowed from his right thumb. Now there is, the bandit said. Lun Yuangning had no choice but to endure the pain and press his fingerprint on the paper. Young Master Lun is indeed generous and heroic. We must also keep our word. How about this? You come with us to Zihu and go through the handover ceremony. Alright. Lun Yuangning nodded helplessly at this time. He was planning in his heart to play dumb after going there. Anyway, Li Su had already been arrested, and there was no person in charge there, so the handover ceremony would definitely not be possible. But what he didn't know was that Wu Zan had already falsely conveyed the order to escort Li Su out of the city. Around 10 o'clock in the morning, More than 2,000 security guards sent by the North Gu resettlement camp had arrived at the South Gu resettlement camp. The security captain gave an order to start attacking the city. Bang bang bang, clang clang clang. The two sides fired a few symbolic shots and did some damage at the gate, and the city gate was opened. The process of attacking the city was like children playing house. The North Gu team drove straight in and went directly to the headquarters. Originally, the play would have ended here. The South Gu resettlement camp was completely occupied by North Gu. Next was to wait for news from Lun Yongning. As long as Lun Yongning successfully took over the resettlement camp, Lun Jianian would escape to Zihu. In this way, if Xin wanted South Gu again, he would refuse to give it to him on the pretext that South Gu had been occupied. But unfortunately, the subsequent script did not follow the plot arranged by Lun Jianian. Around 11 o'clock, Lun Yongning and his party were escorted to Zihu by the bandits. Isn't this young Master Lun? Why are you interested in taking a stroll in Zihu? Li Su greeted him at the city gate. You? How could you be here? Lun Yongning widened his eyes in disbelief. Young Master Lun, what are you saying? If I'm not here, where else could I be? Li Su said with a smile. You weren't. Lun Yongning didn't dare to say the rest of his words because he had concealed the fact that Li Su had been arrested from the bandits. If he said it at this time, the bandits would not let him go. Were what? Li Su pretended not to know. Oh. I understand, you are all in cahoots. Lun Yongning felt that he had understood everything. Young Master Lun, don't talk nonsense. These people were brought by you. I don't know them. Li Su spread his hands, not treating those bandits as bandits at all. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 358, Lun Jianian's Death. Are you Leader Li? The Xilake resettlement is ours now. Here's the document. The bandit handed over the agreement. Li Su took it and glanced at it, pretending to be aggrieved as he asked, Young Master Lun, have I, Li Su, done something wrong? Why are you treating me like this? To be honest, Li Su's acting was too fake, but he was doing it on purpose, putting on a perfunctory show just to give the people a reason. He felt there was no need to take seriously a useless like this, who couldn't accomplish anything and ate more than he was worth. This, Lun Yongning was at a loss originally. When he saw Li Su, besides being surprised, he also felt a hint of joy. He hoped Li Su could eliminate the bandits and rescue him from their clutches, but Li Su ignored the bandits and even acknowledged this obviously invalid transfer document, leaving him completely bewildered. Alice. Since young Master Lun has already decided, I can only comply. Everyone, follow me into the city, and we'll complete the handover ceremony. Li Su put on a sorrowful expression. Comply my ass. Lun Yongning cursed inwardly again and again. If Li Su were really this obedient, there wouldn't have been so much trouble, but now he couldn't say anything, couldn't do anything, and could only helplessly hand over the resettlement to others. As for whether he had the authority to hand over the resettlement, or whether this handwritten agreement had any legal validity, no one cared. This was just a show for the people below, a mere formality. With this formality, the change of the resettlement's person in charge was justified. On the South Ditch side, Lun Jianian was anxiously awaiting news from Lun Yongning. Wuzhan led people in. Little Wu, is there any news? Lun Jianian asked. Mayor Lun, you don't have to wait. No news will be coming back, Wuzhan said. What do you mean? Lun Jianian detected a strange tone in Wuzhan's voice. Your precious son is already dead, Wuzhan said. What? What did you say? That's impossible. Lun Jianian was very agitated. His health was already failing, and he sat weakly in his wheelchair. Now, hearing this explosive news, he almost kicked the bucket. I don't know what those below were doing, but they actually let Li Su escape, Wuzhan said. Escaped? It was you. It was you, wasn't it? Lun Jianian immediately realized that Wuzhan was up to no good. Who it was is not important. It's a pity that you could have lived out your natural lifespan, but you insisted on courting death yourself. I can't help you, Wuzhan shook his head. You want to kill me, Lun Jianian retorted. Wrong, it's not that I want to kill you. It's that you want to kill yourself. Otherwise, why would you have transferred so many people from North Ditch? Wouldn't you say so? Wuzhan smiled. You? Lun Jianian couldn't catch his breath and couldn't say anything. Do it. Wuzhan was too lazy to waste words and ordered. Bang! The person behind him raised his gun and shot him directly in the heart. Lun Jianian died. It's bad. It's bad. Mayor Lun has been murdered, Wu Zan shouted as he ran out of Lun Jianian's room. Many people had already run over upon hearing the gunshot. Now, hearing Wu Zan's shout, they all panicked. You few guard every entrance and exit. No one is allowed to enter or leave. The rest of you, come with me, Wu Zan ordered loudly with the Sparrow Heart's troop support. He had more than enough to control the situation in the city. The resettlement's temporary headquarters was quickly controlled by Wu Zan. At the same time, a gunfight broke out on the streets. The two sides engaged in battle were Wu Zan's men and the security team members from North Ditch. The North Ditch security team members naturally had inferior firepower. In a matter of minutes, most of them surrendered. There was no way around it. The Sparrow Heart's K8 assault rifles were invincible in any resettlement. Moreover, they were not in the right now because in the eyes of the common people, they were attacking the resettlement, obviously harboring malicious intentions. Wu Zan leading troops to quell the rebellion was definitely the right thing to do. After the North Ditch people were dealt with, Wu Zan returned to the headquarters. The resettlement's management personnel were basically all here. Comrades, Mayor Lun was murdered by that bunch from North Ditch. What do you all say we should do? Wu Zan looked very sad and angry. Secretary Wu, why would the people from North Ditch attack our South Ditch resettlement? A staff member asked. Isn't it simple? Mayor Lun wanted to merge the three resettlements, but Zhang Wen didn't agree. Wu Zan replied. Zhang Wen was the leader of the North Ditch resettlement. Everyone fell silent. This did make sense. After all, the fact that the North Ditch people had attacked the city was undeniable. If it weren't for Wu Zan controlling the situation, South Ditch would be the one to be wiped out now. Now I'm going to find Zhang Wen to settle the score. Do you all agree? Wu Zan asked. Still no one spoke. They didn't care whether they fought Zhang Wen or not, as long as they didn't have to go to the battlefield. Speak up. Are you all mute? Wu Zan's eyes were bloodshot, and tears were welling up in his eyes. This acting deserves full marks. Good, good, good. Very good. Now I announce that from today onwards, I'm in charge of the South Ditch resettlement. Do you have any objections? Wu Zan revealed his true intentions. Everyone was a little uneasy and began to whisper. What makes you think you can? A man asked loudly. If you dare to lead people to fight North Ditch, I'll let you have the position of leader. Wu Zan didn't back down after hearing this. The man lowered his head and sat down, not saying another word. No one else discussed it either, and they all lowered their heads. No one dared to go to the battlefield. Their lives were more important. No one spoke, which was considered a tacit agreement. Chapter 359. Pinxi City is captured. Wu Zan, utilizing the force provided by Xin in conjunction with his superb acting skills, completely conquered the South Gully settlement. Of course, this conquest was superficial. Force alone couldn't gain the complete approval of others. Therefore, a victory was needed to demonstrate his abilities and enhance his influence in South Gully. Attacking the North Gully settlement was undoubtedly the best choice. Few people knew the real reason why North Gully attacked South Gully. On the surface, North Gully appeared to be in the wrong, so Wu Zan's attack on them would be justified. Xin had already devised a plan for attacking North Gully, and Wu Zan only needed to act accordingly. Around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Wu Zan had already led his men to the outskirts of the North Gully settlement. However, he didn't attack the city. Instead, he concealed himself a kilometer away. He sent someone to notify Zhang Wen, the leader of the North Gully settlement, saying that Lun Jianian was dead and requesting him to come to South Gully immediately. Zhang Wen was very loyal to Lun Jianian, so he would definitely go upon hearing this news as expected. After receiving the news, he didn't take precautions and rushed towards South Gully with a few men, but he was intercepted by Wu Zan not far outside the city. Wu Zan, why are you here? Zhang Wen asked. Leader Zhang, aren't you clear about why I'm here? Wu Zan's words were filled with hostility. What do you mean? Zhang Wen asked, frowning, not understanding. What do I mean? Your men attacked South Gully, killed Mayor Lun, and you still have the nerve to ask me what I mean. Wu Zan said. What? Mayor Lun is dead. Zhang Wen was stunned. It was clearly you who told me to feign an attack on South Gully, but now, no. Impossible. My men would never kill Mayor Lun. It's you, it must be you. You killed Mayor Lun. Zhang Wen seemed to understand everything and pointed at Wu Zan angrily. He believed that all of this must be Wu Zan's conspiracy. Leader Zhang, I told you to feign an attack, but I didn't tell you to really attack. Your men not only attacked South Gully but also shot Mayor Lun to death. This is a fact, and you can't deny it. Wu Zan replied, you villain. I'll fight you, Zhang Wen shouted and was about to attack. Bang, bang, bang. A burst of gunfire turned Zhang Wen and his men into sieves. Leader Zhang, since you're so loyal to Lun Jianian, Go down and keep him company, Wu Zun said calmly, walking to Zhang Wen's corpse. After speaking, he led his men to the city walls of North Gully. The other security team members of the settlement didn't know what was happening and directly let Wu Zun into the city. Wu Zun arrived at the command center and called an emergency meeting. What? I don't believe it. Leader Zhang has always respected Mayor Lun. How could he do such a thing? One of the staff members retorted. That's right, I don't believe it either. Many people stood up one after another, and the meeting room became chaotic. Wu Zun wasn't in a hurry and sat in the main seat, watching quietly. You don't believe it? Do you think I believe it? Can anyone tell me why Zhang Wen sent people to attack South Gully? Wu Zun asked calmly. None of the management personnel at the command center knew the inside story and had nothing to say at this time. Like you, I also don't believe that Zhang Wen would be detrimental to Mayor Lun. But he succeeded in entering South Gully precisely because of this. Otherwise, with those few broken guns of his, could he easily rush into the command center? Wu Zun said, following their train of thought. Until the moment the gunshots rang out, I couldn't believe that all of this was real. He closed his eyes, pretending to be sad. Now that the result has already happened, discussing these things is useless. Now that Zhang Wen is dead, someone has to be responsible for North Gully. Let's discuss it. Wu Zun threw out a bait to shift the conflict. Hearing Wu Zun's words, everyone perked up. The position of the settlement leader was something they couldn't even dream of. Now that they had the opportunity, they were all eager to try. How about this? Let's have a vote. Wu Zun said his idea. Everyone thought that Wu Zun would definitely choose someone from his own faction, or even send someone over from South Gully. But now, he was actually choosing from among them, which made everyone feel favorably disposed towards Wu Zun. An hour later, the voting ended. After dealing with the affairs of North Gully, Pinksy was completely calmed down. Wu Zun became the actual controller, successfully taking over Lun Jianian's position around 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Xin gathered his men and continued on their way. Their next destination was Fengshan. Mayor, are you really going to Fengshan? Wu Zun asked in surprise. That's right, that's my main goal for this trip, Xin replied, but there's no one left in Fengshan City. What are you going to do there? Wu Zun asked. No need to ask more questions, you'll know in the future. Xin didn't plan to discuss it with him in detail. Alright then. But it's almost dark now, and there might still be many zombies in the city. Should we leave early tomorrow morning? Wu Zun suggested. No need, others are afraid of zombies, but I'm not afraid. Xin refused decisively. Wu Zun didn't understand Xin's answer, but he didn't say anything more. Pinksy and Fengshan were very close, only less than 30 kilometers apart. As the sun was about to set, their train successfully arrived at Zhaojian Station in Fengshan City. Chapter 360, Level 5 Core Module completed. 10 p.m. The rooftop of an abandoned building. Mr. Kamada, Mystery Eye, Mayor, I knew I wasn't wrong about you. Your abilities are truly outstanding. You've opened up the line from Andong to Fengshan in just 2 short days, Kamada Sayako said with a satisfied smile. It's all thanks to the advanced weapons provided by Mr. Kamada, otherwise I wouldn't have been able to manage it, Xin replied with a bow. Rest for a few days. I hope you can use this time to gather tens of thousands more soldiers from Pinksy. I will arrange the weapons for you, Kamada Sayako continued, ignoring his flattery. Yes, Xin responded. September 5, 2055 AD 9 AM Binjiang City Underground Base. Commander, the new core module has been completed, Xiaolin reported as Dongfang Chen arrived at the office. Open the space station panel, Dongfang Chen said. Yes, Commander. The space station panel is open, so big. Dongfang Chen was surprised, looking at the core module in the screen, which was even larger than the material transfer hall space station current structure diagram. The new core module utilized all the worker bee robots and took a full 21 days to build. Yes, Commander. The level 5 core module will release data to level 2, and this data requires more space to accommodate it. May I ask, Commander, whether to begin releasing the data now? Xiaolin asked. The process of releasing data is similar to decompressing a compressed file, but the work involved in this release process is much more extensive. This data is mainly divided into 2 categories. One is file data, and the other is executable programs. The volume of file data is large, but it does not need to occupy too much location space. Moreover, this file data can be directly called by the system without being released. The calling process is very similar to visiting a library. First, there is an index for these materials. When the system needs certain materials, it will search according to the index. When the corresponding materials are found, they will be decompressed, and after being viewed, they will be destroyed. The process of decompression is like borrowing a book, and the process of destruction is like returning a book. Why must it be destroyed? Because if it is not destroyed, as the number of views increases, a lot of junk files will be generated, occupying system space. Of course, for some frequently called data, the system will also mark it and establish a cache area. Within a certain period of time, these files can be reused without being immediately destroyed. The major consumer of location space is actually executable programs. As the space station continues to expand and the functional modules continue to increase, each module in each function needs a control program to manage it. On the one hand, different functions require different control terminals, and on the other hand, each control terminal requires more and more computing power. Whether it is adding control terminals or increasing computing power, a larger core module is needed. When the space station was first upgraded to level 5, the computing power of the core module had already used nearly 80%. If the space station's functions are further expanded, the original core module will not be able to provide more control terminals and computing power, so a new core module needs to be built. Moreover, this core module is being prepared for building a real space station, so there is a good reason for its size. The process of releasing data next is more cumbersome. The space station will copy the data from the original core module to the new core module, and only after the copy is complete will it begin to release the control program. How long does it take to release the data? Dongfang Chen asked. A conservative estimate is 24 hours, Xiaolin replied. Okay, let's begin, Dongfang Chen said. Yes, Commander, the process of releasing data will not cause the space station's functions to be interrupted, so there is no problem starting at any time. The worker bee robots are all idle now. Let's continue to upgrade the other modules, Dongfang Chen said. Yes, Commander. After arranging the space station upgrade, Dongfang Chen contacted Niu Xingwang next. It's time to expand the scale of the Chamber of Commerce branch soon. Niu Xingwang arrived. Brother Niu, how are the arrangements for the supervisory group? Dongfang Chen asked after Niu Xingwang came in. Mr. Dongfang, the arrangements for the supervisory group are complete. Some of them stayed at the Chamber of Commerce headquarters, and some went to various resettlement centers, Niu Xingwang replied. It seems the council plans to fully monitor the operation of the Chamber of Commerce, Dongfang Chen said with a smile. Who says it isn't? These grandsons, one by one, are looking down their noses, asking this and that. The people below are complaining every day. When will this end? Niu Xingwang said with a worried face. Has this situation been reported to Councillor Jing? Dongfang Chen frowned. It has been reported, but this Jing Cheng is just a mediator, just making a few superficial criticisms to do face-saving work, and can't solve the actual problem at all, Niu Xingwang said with a wry smile. We can't control how the supervisory group operates, so let everyone be patient for now. But remember to do the superficial work well, and don't let people find a handle. Don't worry, I will pay attention to this. Niu Xingwang nodded. Yes. I asked you to come here today because I wanted to discuss with you about expanding the Chamber of Commerce branch, Dongfang Chen said. Chapter 361. The second batch of quotas opens. Mr. Dongfang, isn't this a little too fast? These 20 Chamber of Commerce branches have only been operating for a little over a month, and many things haven't gotten on the right track yet, Niu Xingwang said with some concern. Not fast. Not only is it not fast, but it's too slow. The construction of the Chamber of Commerce branches is only paving the way for the implementation of the next plan. Our main task hasn't even started yet. It has been a full 9 months since the Firefly project began, and we don't have much time left. There's also one thing you need to pay attention to. 3 years is the formation time of the molecular light film. The impact of red oxygen on the blue star's climate may already be very obvious a year from now. Therefore, we can't make plans based on 3 years, at most 2 years. That is to say, by the end of December next year at the latest, we must have completed the construction of the underground base on a large scale. Based on the data currently available, there are nearly 600 officially recorded resettlement sites nationwide. Although intelligence reflects that many resettlement sites are being merged, it is estimated that at least 300 or more will still exist by next year. So, the actual time we can use is not much, Dongfang Chen analyzed. Niu Xingwang nodded, indicating his agreement. We must go full steam ahead with the following things. First, speed up the construction of the Chamber of Commerce branches. Let's open up another 30 places for the second batch. Our crystal cores are limited at the moment. I've calculated that this is the limit. Second, speed up the construction of the logistics system. The speed of material flow between the existing Chamber of Commerce branches must keep up. Third, the matter of Huatong Business School should be implemented as soon as possible. We need more people. Fourth, we need more crystal cores. Try to communicate with the heads of several resettlement sites to see if they have any ideas about raising rats. Or, they can specialize in producing feed. This is also a way to make money for them, and I don't think anyone would refuse. Fifth, forget it, let's discuss this matter later. Dongfang Chen originally wanted to say that the fifth thing was to create conditions and find a way to obtain a seat in the council. However, this matter is not urgent, and the conditions are not yet ripe, so it's better not to mention it. Okay, I understand. Then I'll issue a notice to open up the second batch of places. Many resettlement sites are waiting now. Once this news is released, it will definitely cause a sensation across the country. Niu Xingwang said confidently, don't release all the places in the second batch. Select a few key resettlement sites and designate them internally. Dongfang Chen added, okay, I understand. Niu Xingwang said Dongfang Chen understood as soon as he said it that the limited resources should be used where they are most needed. Many people were waiting and watching the first batch of places, so no threshold was set. But the second batch will have a limit, and the Chamber of Commerce already has the qualifications to choose customers. The news that Huatong Chamber of Commerce planned to invest in another 25 Chamber of Commerce branches quickly spread unsurprisingly. The resettlement sites were all boiling, but what everyone didn't expect was that this time there were requirements for the resettlement sites that applied. Condition 1. The population of the resettlement site must be over 500,000. Condition 2. The resettlement site must be directly under the jurisdiction of a third-tier city or above in the original China. Condition 3. Resettlement sites in cities where Chamber of Commerce branches have already been established are not within the quota range. These three conditions basically excluded most of the resettlement sites. The first condition was easy to meet, and there were countless resettlement sites with a population of over 500,000 nationwide. However, the second condition excluded more than half of the resettlement sites. Because there are more than 100 third-tier cities or above in China, which also includes cities where Chamber of Commerce branches have already been established and many large cities south of the Yangtze River. The good thing is that even if the resettlement sites south of the Yangtze River move to Jiangbei, they can still apply according to the original city. The third condition excluded many resettlement sites again. Because large cities generally have multiple resettlement sites, but Dongfang Chen does not plan to set up so many branches in the same city at present. Considering these three conditions, there are not many resettlement sites that can apply. Once the news was released, the heads of many resettlement sites rushed to the headquarters of the Huatong Chamber of Commerce as soon as possible. They had already made up their minds that they must fight for it this time. At the same time, Niu Xingwang had also confirmed the 5 internally designated places with Dongfang Chen, namely, Qingtang City in Kunlun Province, Sunlight City in Lazan Province, Longnan City and Jiayu City in Ganlan Province. Wulanheda in Inner Mongolia Province. These 5 cities have one thing in common, that is, they are all distributed in sparsely populated areas and are not considered third-tier cities. Since they are not third-tier cities, why choose them? That's because these areas happen to be blind spots for signal towers and Chamber of Commerce logistics coverage. Setting up Chamber of Commerce branches in these places is more conducive to long-term layout. After the quota was determined, Niu Xingwang immediately arranged 5 negotiation teams to go to these 5 places to discuss cooperation matters. Chapter 362 The One Favored by Fate. The next day, early in the morning, the 5 negotiation teams set off simultaneously. The distance to Longnan City in Ganlan Province was the shortest, so the negotiation team going there arrived first. Longnan City had established 3 resettlement camps. Hanwang Resettlement Camp, located east of Longnan City, was the largest of the 3. Wufang Mountain Resettlement Camp, located north of Longnan City. Beilongjian Resettlement Camp, located west of Longnan City. Since the resettlement camps established by the Huagua government had previously deployed ultrasonic transmitters, the Chamber of Commerce had their basic information. The negotiation team went straight to the Hanwang Resettlement Camp, and the plane landed on the open space outside the camp. The security guards patrolling the city wall saw a plane landing nearby and hurried to report it. This place was remote and had no airport, so they had never seen this situation before. The mayor of Longnan City was in the Hanwang Resettlement Camp, and he rushed over after receiving the news. At this time, the 5 members of the negotiation team had disembarked from the plane and arrived at the city gate of the resettlement camp. Hello, Is this the Han Wang resettlement camp in Longnan City? The leading staff member shouted. That's right. Who are you? Mayor Hao Hongxiang asked. Hello, we are from the Huituang Chamber of Commerce. We are here today to talk to you about cooperation, the staff member, a girl, said, using her hand as a megaphone to shout loudly. She was wearing a gray professional suit, her face was fair, and she was out of place in this desolate land. Huituang Chamber of Commerce? Hurry, 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 open the gate, Mayor Hao Hongxiang, upon hearing that it was someone from the Huituang Chamber of Commerce, hurriedly urged the security guards to open the city gate. He himself also ran out of the city in a panic to greet them in person. After all, he was the mayor of a prefecture-level city, and he had heard of the Huituang Chamber of Commerce. Hello, uncle, we are from the Huituang Chamber of Commerce. My name is Cheng Jin, the staff member said, extending her fair little hand and smiling. Hello. Hello. Hao Hongxiang looked very excited. He first wiped his hand on his body before shaking Cheng Jin's outstretched little hand. Uncle, I wonder if the mayor of our Longnan city is here? Cheng Jin asked. I am Hao Hongxiang, the mayor of Longnan city. I wonder what your company is doing in Longnan. Hao Hongxiang was a little incoherent. I'm sorry, Mayor Hao, I didn't know it was you. I was a little presumptuous. Cheng Jin quickly bowed and apologized when she heard that the sloppy uncle in front of her was Hao Hongxiang. It's okay. How about we go into the city to talk? Hao Hongxiang suggested. Okay, Cheng Jin nodded. Hey. You, Gauzi. Hurry up, take someone and drive 2 off-road vehicles over here. Didn't you see we have guests? You have no sense of propriety. Hao Hongxiang turned his head and shouted at the top of his voice. Hey. Okay, I'll go right away. A young man watching the excitement in the crowd not far away responded and turned to run towards the city. Mayor Hao, no need to trouble yourself, we can just walk. Cheng Jin dissuaded him. No trouble. We'll wait a moment, it'll be quick, Hao Hongxiang said, brooking no refusal. Seeing this, Cheng Jin didn't say anything more and had to wait quietly. Hao Hongxiang looked behind her. The other 4 people were all wearing suits, their right hands placed inside their jackets, unsmiling, standing there motionless. According to his knowledge, these 4 people should be bodyguards. Manager Chang, you're laughing at us. This is a small place, and very few people have come since the virus outbreak, so everyone is very curious, Hao Hongxiang said with a polite greeting. Mayor Hao, you're too kind. I also come from a small place, Cheng Jin said with a smile. Oh? Really? Where is Manager Chang from? Hao Hongxiang asked curiously. Not far from here, Kinzhao City, Cheng Jin replied generously without hiding anything. Kinzhao. That's very close. The mayor of Kinzhao City and I are old friends. Should I give him a call and ask him to come over? Hao Hongxiang was very surprised. No need, Mayor Hao. When I was in Kinzhao, I was just a little girl from a remote mountain village and didn't know the mayor. Cheng Jin quickly waved her hand, a little shy. Oh. Really? Then how did you get to the Huituang Chamber of Commerce? Hao Hongxiang saw that Cheng Jin was being frank, so he didn't force her and continued to chat. I used to go to university in Jingmen City. After the virus outbreak, I was trapped in the Beisha resettlement camp in Jingmen City. Later, I was fortunate enough to be selected and recommended by Mayor Su to participate in the Huituang Chamber of Commerce's trainee training. After the training, I worked in the Chamber of Commerce, Cheng Jin replied. So that's how it is. Hao Hongxiang nodded. Perhaps this is someone favored by fate. Since you are from Kinzhao, why didn't you go to Kinzhao, but came to Longnan? I'm sorry, I don't mean anything else, I'm just curious, Hao Hongxiang asked. Mayor Hao, you think too highly of me. We are just grassroots staff. Where do we have the right to choose? Wherever the Chamber of Commerce sends us, we go. Cheng Jin didn't mind. Beep beep. Soon, the car drove over. Gauzi turned the steering wheel sharply and parked the car sideways in front of them. Then he got out of the car and took the initiative to open the door. Hao Hongxiang glared at him, but didn't criticize him. This kind of recklessness wasn't something that had happened in just a day or two. Chapter 363. A gold ingot falls from the sky. Manager Chang, let's get in the car. Hao Hongxiang gestured for her to enter. Cheng Jin and Mayor Hao sat in the back seat of a car, with a bodyguard sitting in the front as escort. The remaining 3 bodyguards got into another car. In about 10 minutes, the group arrived at the resettlement site headquarters inside the mayor's office. Manager Chang, what business does the Chamber of Commerce have in sending you here this time? How's Hongxiang asked. It's like this. Our Chamber of Commerce plans to establish a branch in Longnan. I wonder if Mayor Hao agrees, Chengjin said. Really? Mayor Hao was overjoyed when he saw them outside the city. He wondered if the Chamber of Commerce was here to establish a branch, but that thought was fleeting, and he quickly dismissed it. He had known about the Chamber of Commerce opening up the second batch of slots for a long time, but knowing it made no difference. Longnan City was far from being a third-tier city and didn't meet the requirements at all. Yes, Chengjin smiled and nodded affirmatively. May I ask, why choose us? How's Hongxiang still found it unbelievable, because Longnan's geographical location is quite special. The Chamber of Commerce needs to establish a logistics transit base here, so I was sent here to discuss it, Chengjin explained. Oh, is that so? Is it just building a logistics base or? How's Hongxiang asked tactfully. Of course not. We will build a fully functional Chamber of Commerce branch and a mercenary guild branch here, Chengjin explained. Good, I understand. This is a good thing. I have no problem with it. How's Hongxiang immediately stated after understanding a golden ingot had fallen from the sky, and he had to pick it up quickly. That's great, Mayor Hao. This is the contract, please take a look, Chengjin said, taking a contract from her bag and handing it over. Okay, Hao Boxiang picked up the contract and looked at it. Other resettlement sites had already set an example, so he didn't have many questions. After casually flipping through it, he took out a pen and signed his name, then took out the official seal and stamped it. Mayor Hao, don't you need to hold a meeting to discuss it? Chengjin asked, seeing him sign it directly. Manager Cheng is joking. The people below have been looking forward to this day like crazy, only regretting that they didn't have the conditions to track the golden phoenix. Now that the phoenix has come, how can we let it fly away? Don't you think so? Hao Boxiang said, picking up the contract and blowing on it. Mayor Hao is really humorous, Chengjin said with a smile. This is true. Hao Boxiang handed the contract back. Chengjin took the contract. So what do we need to do next? Hao Boxiang asked. After the contract is signed, the Chamber of Commerce will send someone over to inspect the site soon. You can plan in advance to see where it is suitable to build a Chamber of Commerce. Others will follow up on the later matters, so you don't need to worry, Chengjin said with a smile. Without any surprises, the other 4 negotiation teams also signed the contracts smoothly without wasting any effort. 1300 hours in the afternoon. The headquarters of the Binjiang Huatong Chamber of Commerce was already overcrowded. As for how the heads of these resettlement sites arrived here so quickly, it can only be said that the 8 immortals crossed the sea. Each displaying their own unique abilities. The reception desk of the Chamber of Commerce had prepared registration forms early, and the people who came to register filled them out one after another. The receptionist took the people to the rest area and reassured everyone to wait patiently. At the same time, the staff began to sort out the information. Logically speaking, with such harsh conditions, so many resettlement sites shouldn't have signed up. It was only from the sorted information that it could be seen that most cities had sent multiple resettlement sites at the same time, and a considerable number did not meet the conditions. Many people were taking a try-and-see attitude, just in case they were selected. The staff entered the customer data into the system, and a selection result was quickly generated, confirming the list of 25 resettlement sites. So how were these 25 resettlement sites selected? After the data was entered into the system, it was first screened according to the city. Resettlement sites in non-third tier or higher cities would be directly excluded. The second screening was still based on the city. If a city already had a cooperative resettlement site, then all other resettlement sites from that city would be excluded. The third step was to exclude resettlement sites with a population of less than 500,000. After the 3-step screening, the remaining ones all met the conditions. However, among these resettlement sites that met the conditions, there was still one situation. That is, each city had multiple resettlement sites signing up, so how should they choose? The Chamber of Commerce's system was actually controlled behind the scenes by Xiaolin, so it certainly wouldn't be randomly selected. In order to improve efficiency, the system first ranked the cities according to their distribution area and importance level, and selected the 25 cities with the highest comprehensive index. After the city was determined, priority was given to resettlement sites managed by the mayor. If there was no resettlement site managed by the mayor, then the selection was made according to the population. In this way, in less than a minute, the 25 slots were determined. Except for entering the data, no manual intervention was required throughout the process. Chapter 364 Cooperative Resettlement Center determined. Everyone, the list is out. Now, I will announce the final results. Gu Chengyu read the list aloud. Wait, I have a question. After the results were announced, someone stood up and shouted, please, go ahead. Gu Chengyu gestured. What are your selection criteria? I estimate that many shelters that meet the conditions have applied. Right, the list is determined by the system, and we cannot interfere manually. Gu Chengyu explained. Programs are written by people. I don't accept that reason, the man said. Does anyone else have similar questions? Gu Chengyu coldly swept her gaze across the others present. Yes, many people responded originally. Gu Chengyu didn't want to explain, but now that many people had questions, the situation was different. Alright then, let me briefly introduce the selection process. The system will conduct an initial screening based on your city and population size, and those who do not meet the conditions will be excluded. Then, 25 spots will be selected sequentially in the form of a lottery. Note that when I say sequentially, I mean that the system will first draw the first one, then the second one. If the second shelter comes from the same city as the first one, the draw will be invalid, and a new draw will be conducted. This will continue until the 25th shelter is selected. Does everyone understand? Gu Chengyu finished her prepared explanation and then asked why didn't Gu Chengyu introduce the real selection process and instead chose to lie. That was because random selection was fair to everyone. Whether you were selected or not depended entirely on luck, and no one could say anything after listening to Gu Chengyu's description. The man nodded, indicating his agreement. The others also stopped talking. However, everyone understood something else. It was the right approach to have all the shelters in their city apply because doing so would increase their chances of being drawn. In reality, the system's selection method had nothing to do with the number of applicants after the spots were determined. Those who were not selected left dejectedly. The remaining 25 representatives were basically the mayors of various cities. After seeing this, everyone revealed an expression of understanding. Random selection? Are you kidding me? The random selections are all shelters where the mayors are? That's too unscientific. So, it wasn't easy to completely deceive these shrewd people, but at this point, saying these things was meaningless. They had already been selected, so it was better to shut up. Next, everyone signed the contracts in turn and left happily after the second batch of cooperative shelters was determined. It had largely covered the more important cities nationwide, which would be a milestone for the Huatong Chamber of Commerce. Once these 30 branches were all built and put into operation, the backbone transportation and communication networks covering China would be established simultaneously. The next task was to improve the branches and spread to other cities and shelters. September 8, 2055 AD 10 a.m. Hansuhong Province, Jingmen City, Beisha Shelter. Chairman Niu, welcome. Welcome. Mayor Su strode up to Niu Xingwang and shook his hand enthusiastically. Mayor Su, I apologize for the intrusion, Niu Xingwang said with a smile. Chairman Niu, you're too kind. You are a busy man, and we can't even invite you if we wanted to. Please come inside. Mayor Su was very enthusiastic under the leadership of Mayor Su. Niu Xingwang came to the mayor's office. Mayor Su, I have some things I want to hear your opinion on today, Niu Xingwang said straightforwardly. Given his current status, there was no need to be polite. Oh? Chairman Niu, please speak. Mayor Su was ready to listen patiently. It's like this. Our Chamber of Commerce plans to launch a project to produce crystal cores. I don't know if Mayor Su is interested, Niu Xingwang said. Oh? Ah. Chairman Niu, are you saying, produce crystal cores? Mayor Su was a little surprised and a little confused. Weren't crystal cores produced in the heads of zombies? How could they be produced? Yes, that's right. To be precise, it's breeding, Niu Xingwang said. I'm in. Before Niu Xingwang could finish speaking, Mayor Su stood up decisively and replied firmly. Mayor Su, aren't you going to listen to what the project is and whether it makes money? Niu Xingwang found it a little funny. No need to listen. Chairman Niu, just tell me, do you want houses or land, or even people? In short, you say how to do it, and we'll do it. Mayor Su's words were powerful and resounding. Mayor Su, isn't your decision too hasty? Niu Xingwang was surprised. Not hasty. Chairman Niu, I have definitely given it careful consideration. Absolutely not hasty, Mayor Su repeatedly assured. Well, I was planning to hear his opinion. The matter hasn't even started, and he has already agreed. Niu Xingwang shook his head and thought helplessly. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 365 Buying Multiple Shelters Together. Mayor Su's immediate agreement with Niu Xingwang was naturally due to the immense benefits the Chamber of Commerce brought to the settlement. Furthermore, witnessing the Chamber's formidable strength during the military exercises in Jingmen City solidified his determination to cling to the Chamber of Commerce as his lifeline. Alright, since that's the case, let's discuss how we can cooperate, Niu Xingwang said. Okay, President Niu, please proceed, Mayor Su replied, ready to listen intently. This is the advantage that benefits bring. Here's the thing, I have two projects in mind. One is raising rats, and the other is producing feed for the rats. Which one are you more inclined to do, Mayor Su? Niu Xingwang inquired. Could you elaborate? I'm not very familiar with them, Mayor Su asked. Certainly. Let's start with raising rats. Raising rats is similar to raising chickens, but since you don't need to worry about the rat's health, it's much easier than raising chickens, Niu Xingwang briefly explained. But why raise rats? What value do they have? Mayor Su questioned. As you know, zombies produce crystal cores. But you might not know that zombie rats can also produce crystal cores, Niu Xingwang pointed out the key. Bang! Mayor Su slapped his thigh. I understand. You mean raising the rats to adulthood, then finding a way to turn them into zombies, and then killing them to extract the crystal cores, Mayor Su realized. Exactly, that's the idea, Niu Xingwang said with a smile. Hiss, but what if the zombie rats escape? Wouldn't the settlement be in danger? Mayor Su was a little worried. There's no need to worry about that. Have you forgotten that the settlement already has ultrasonic emitters installed? Even if zombie rats escape, they won't be able to threaten the settlement's safety, Niu Xingwang explained. Then, since there are ultrasonic emitters, can they be raised successfully in the settlement? Mayor Su wasn't foolish and immediately drew inferences. We've already considered that. As long as you strictly follow the methods we provide, there will definitely be no problems, Niu Xingwang guaranteed. Also, to extract the crystal cores, wouldn't we need a slaughterhouse? Killing zombie rats won't be easy, right? Mayor Su asked. You're right, we do need a slaughterhouse. However, you don't need to worry about the slaughtering. Just raise them well. We'll build a slaughterhouse in the settlement. When the zombie rats are ready, just send them in, and you don't need to worry about anything else, Niu Xingwang replied. Great. Then I have no questions, Mayor Su understood. The Huituang Chamber of Commerce had already considered all the problems that needed to be considered, so what concerns did he have? Of course, raising rats requires feed. That's the second project I mentioned to you, producing feed. Niu Xingwang nodded and began to introduce the second project. Okay, please proceed. Mayor Su gestured for him to continue. To produce feed, you need equipment. We already have a fully automated production line, but it's relatively expensive. Niu Xingwang paused at this point. How expensive is it? Mayor Su asked. 20 million crystal cores per unit. Niu Xingwang held up two fingers. Hiss. Mayor Su was shocked by the price. Don't be afraid, you can pay in installments. Niu Xingwang smiled. President Niu, I'm curious to ask, what are you trying to achieve? If it were me, I could just sell the feed. Would that be more cost-effective than selling the equipment? Mayor Su asked for him. The price of 20 million crystal cores was no longer a question of whether or not to pay in installments. Even if it were in installments, he estimated that it would be difficult to afford. Forget it. This isn't our main business. There's no need to spend time on it. Niu Xingwang shook his head. He wasn't telling the truth. What the Huituang Chamber of Commerce wanted was crystal cores. They didn't need to pay too much attention to who produced the crystal cores or how they were produced. Producing feed requires people, and distributing it after production requires consuming logistics resources, as well as reconciliation and settlement, which are all costs. And these costs can be completely borne by others. That's the real reason for selling the equipment. However, this reason was not to be shared with outsiders. President Niu, to be honest, the price of the feed production equipment is too high. I estimate that even with installments, it will be difficult for us to afford it. Mayor Su was a little disappointed. He really wanted to do both things together in his heart. That way, it would be equivalent to self-production and self-sales, and it would also find something for the people in the settlement to do. It would be a win-win situation, and an absolute good deal. Producing crystal cores is like opening a printing factory now. Could there be anything more profitable than this? But you need to have the strength to do it. After his assessment, raising rats was no problem, but the barrier to entry for feed was too high. I've also considered the issue of price for you. With the ability of just one settlement, you really can't afford such equipment. But your settlement can consume all the feed produced either, Niu Xingwang reminded him. You mean multiple settlements can buy it together? Mayor Su's eyes lit up. That's right, Niu Xingwang smiled and affirmed, let's do it. Mayor Su no longer had any concerns and immediately made a decision. Chapter 366, Thoughtful. Mayor Su is decisive. In that case, please hurry and contact more settlements, up to a maximum of 10. Because according to our estimates, the feed produced by one fully automated harvesting aircraft can supply up to 10 settlements. I have 2 personal suggestions for you, Niu Xingwang added. President Niu, please speak. First, it's best not to partner with other settlements in your own city, because ultimately you'll still be paying for the crystal cores yourself. It's better to contact other cities and talk directly with their mayors. This has another advantage, it can prevent various disputes later on. After all, the mayor has more authority, and Mayor Su naturally understands this point. Mayor Su nodded, understanding his meaning. Like Jingmen City, besides the already merged Changjing settlement, there are also 2 settlements in the west of the city. Those 2 settlements still have to listen to him in principle, so their authority is naturally insufficient. There's another reason. Recently, news has spread that many cities are merging their settlements. If your partner gets swallowed up, wouldn't you suffer a great loss? Niu Xingwang added softly. That's right. Mayor Su nodded. Niu Xingwang didn't care whether he had thought of this point or not. He still had to remind him to avoid trouble later. The second point is that it's best not to partner with more than 3 to 5 cities. If several cities share the cost, each city will only have a loan of a few million crystal cores at most. I believe this number isn't too big of a problem for a city. What do you think, Mayor Su? Niu Xingwang asked, looking at him. That's right. President Niu has thought it through thoroughly. Let's do as you say. Mayor Su was completely convinced. He couldn't help but sigh. The Huituang Chamber of Commerce thinks so thoroughly, considering all the problems, which made him very worry-free. It also strengthened his belief that following the Chamber of Commerce's footsteps would definitely not be wrong. With the matter settled, Niu Xingwang bid farewell and left. Mayor Su seized the time to contact several cities relatively close to Jingmen City, Yunmeng City, Huangzhou City, and Hanyang City. He planned to find 3 more cities, so that each would share a loan of 5 million crystal cores on average, which wouldn't be too much pressure. These 3 cities hadn't yet obtained the quota to cooperate with the Chamber of Commerce's branch, and they had long been green with envy. Now, hearing Mayor Su say that there was a Huituang Chamber of Commerce project to cooperate on, they immediately became restless. Just like Mayor Su's attitude at the beginning, the mayors of these 3 cities didn't even let him finish speaking before immediately expressing their desire to cooperate, and repeatedly urged him to bring them along. They were still worried after hanging up the phone, and rushed to Jingmen City in a hurry, fearing that they would miss the opportunity if they were a step late. There was no way around it. The Huituang Chamber of Commerce's projects were just that popular in the circle of mayors. Many people had already paid the price for their hesitation once. Now, as long as they heard anything related to the Huituang Chamber of Commerce, no one wouldn't pay attention. After leaving Jingmen City, Niu Xingwang went directly to Luzhou City in Wanhu Province. Luzhou City has jurisdiction over 5 settlements: Changfang Settlement, Ludong Settlement, Luxi Settlement, Chaohu Settlement, Xiaogang Settlement. Among them, Xiaogang Settlement is not managed by Luzhou City, but directly by the council, because many important scientific research projects of China are located here. Up to now, a regiment of the Central Military Region and 2 regiments of the Southeast Military Region are still stationed here. Luzhou City Mayor Wang Lexin's settlement is Changfang Settlement, which is one of the first 20 settlements to cooperate. So Niu Xingwang went directly to Changfang Settlement. The situation was similar to that of Jingmen City, and Wang Lexin also readily agreed to cooperate. After leaving Luzhou, Niu Xingwang's last stop was Milan Settlement in Mazhou City. Although Milan Settlement no longer had an interdependent relationship with the Huituang Chamber of Commerce, it was, after all, the birthplace of the Huituang Chamber of Commerce. And countless eyes were watching it. Giving it appropriate resource inclination is also very beneficial to stabilizing the Chamber of Commerce's reputation and word of mouth. So this project still had to be given to Milan. As for whether Gong Kaming wanted to take on this project, Dongfang Chen's original words were, he has to take it on even if he doesn't want to. The meaning was obvious. Milan represents the Chamber of Commerce's face, and it's not up to Gong Kaming to do whatever he wants. At around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Niu Xingwang arrived at Milan and landed directly on the Chamber of Commerce branch's apron. President Niu, what a rare guest. Please, have a seat. Gong Kaming greeted him warmly. Mayor Gong, It's been a while since I've been here. Milan is becoming more and more prosperous, Niu Xingwang said with a smile. Isn't it all thanks to President Niu? Mayor Gong also said with a smile. Mayor Gong, I'm here today to talk to you about something. Niu Xingwang didn't beat around the bush, to be honest. Guang Kaiming benefited from the Chamber of Commerce. If the Chamber of Commerce hadn't been born here, Niu Xingwang wouldn't have bothered to come and talk to him. President Niu, please speak. Guang Kaiming had no choice but to take it seriously. Chapter 367 I really give you face. At that moment, Niu Xingwang explained the project again. Guang Kaiming fell into deep thought after listening. Without immediately expressing his stance in this regard, his performance was far inferior to the mayors of Jingmen and Leziao. Back and forth, he was just calculating his own petty interests. Mayor Guang, do you have any concerns? Niu Xingwang asked. Chairman Niu, as the old saying goes, never raise a mouth that only knows how to ask. To be honest, the risks of breeding are simply too great. Milan's situation has finally shown some improvement, and I'm unwilling to take any risks. Guang Kaiming said. Was this a rejection? Not really, he just wanted more benefits or more favorable conditions. Although he had been mentally prepared, Niu Xingwang still felt very uncomfortable seeing his performance now. This was his father and mother official. This was Milan, which had repeatedly obtained huge benefits from the Chamber of Commerce. At this moment, he recalled a saying that Dongfang Chen had once said, if it is a pure exchange of interests, don't mix emotions into it. Because this will make the interests look dirty, and it will hurt the person who invests emotions. It was a very blunt statement, yet so true. Mayor Guang, I only left you a spot because we are all Binjiang natives. I might as well tell you, the mayors of Jingmen and Leziao have already signed contracts. Originally, this third spot was planned for Yujing. Do you understand what I mean? Since things had reached this point, Niu Xingwang saw no need to spare his feelings. Oh? Don't mention it. I think it would definitely be more suitable for Yujing to do it. Guang Kaiming retorted. He was sure that Niu Xingwang would definitely want Milan to do it, which was why he was so fearless. This approach was no different from dancing on the tip of a knife. At this moment, Niu Xingwang couldn't resist the urge to overturn the table. Alright, let's talk about this matter later. Oh, right, there's another thing. The Chamber of Commerce is holding training internally during this period, so the Milan branch of the Chamber of Commerce is estimated to be temporarily closed for a period of time. But Mayor Guang, don't worry, it will resume business after the training is over. Niu Xingwang changed the subject. The shutdown was fake. Giving Guang Kaiming a warning was real. This kind of person should not be given any more respect. If you give them too much respect, they will think of themselves as someone important. Is that so? When will it start? Guang Kaiming's face looked a little unsightly at this time. He realized that he had miscalculated. This matter must not be indispensable to him, otherwise Niu Xingwang would not be so tough. The specific time has not yet been determined. Once it is confirmed, I will notify you in advance. After speaking, Niu Xingwang stood up. Then that's it for today. Since Mayor Guang has concerns, I won't force it. If there is an opportunity in the future, let's cooperate again. He prepared to leave. If he let him go at this time, he would really be in trouble. Seeing that Guang Kaiming was not cooperating, Niu Xingwang lost the desire to argue with him. Let's get tough. Guang Kaiming, I'm really giving you face. Niu Xingwang's face suddenly turned cold. Chairman Niu, what is this? Guang Kaiming hadn't reacted yet, standing there blankly, at a loss. Let me ask you, are you being a cheapskate? Niu Xingwang stared at him coldly and asked, Niu Xingwang, what do you mean by this? Guang Kaiming also realized that something was wrong. You're the type who doesn't appreciate kindness. I'm telling you, me coming to talk to you is giving you face. Do you understand? Just cooperate properly. Why do you have to be so shameless? Do you think the Huotuang Chamber of Commerce can't function without you? Guang Kaiming, Niu Xingwang scolded very bluntly, no longer giving him any face. You. Guang Kaiming was immediately furious, pointing at him with a trembling finger, unable to say a word. I'm telling you, ever since I helped you build the resettlement housing and didn't get a single cent, you've been nothing to me. I'm just asking you, what qualifications do you have to bargain with me? Niu Xingwang stared at him and continued to scold. Didn't you say? Guang Kaiming couldn't open his mouth. I said I wouldn't hold it against you, right? That's right, I did say that. But that's my business. What does it have to do with you? Niu Xingwang glanced at him sideways. Whether you can be the person in charge of this Milan resettlement housing, you can only do it if I let you. If I don't let you, you can't do it even if you want to. Do you believe it? Niu Xingwang continued to threaten. You? Guang Kaiming hadn't calmed down yet. No one had ever been so arrogant in front of him. Enough nonsense. I'll just ask you one question, can you do this or not? And I'll only ask once, think carefully before your answer, Niu Xingguang asked, half-warningly, narrowing his eyes. Guang Kaming covered his chest, trying to calm his emotions. He didn't dare to lash out, and he didn't dare to fall out with him. I'll do it. After stabilizing for a minute, Guang Kaming finally said the two words as if he had deflated. Remember my words. Cooperate properly, and you can still stay in this position. Otherwise, go stay wherever it's cool. Niu Xingguang's tone softened. Chapter 368 Meeting Zuo Wenshan at night. I understand. Guang Kaming's entire body was drained of strength, his face incomparably haggard. I will send someone over tomorrow. You will cooperate fully, do you hear? Niu Xingguang asked. Yes. Guang Kaming nodded. Niu Xingguang was too lazy to waste any more words with him and turned to leave. After Niu Xingguang left, Guang Kaming's face turned ashen, and he smashed everything in the office in a fit of rage. No, Merlin is mine. Don't even think about snatching it away from me. Finally, he seemed to have made some important decision, so he set off that night for the Suiyang settlement. Brother Guang, what couldn't be said over the phone that required you to come all the way here so late? Zuo Wenshan asked. Brother Zuo, I've come to ask for a favor, Guang Kaming said bluntly. What favor? Brother Guang, feel free to speak your mind, Zuo Wenshan said. I have a letter here. If something happens to me, I need you to find a way to pass it on to the military and political department, Guang Kaming said, taking out a letter from his pocket. What exactly is going on? Zuo Wenshan took the letter, his brow furrowed. The Huituang Chamber of Commerce wants to seize the management rights of Merlin from me. I don't want to sit idly by and wait for my demise, Guang Kaming explained. That's impossible, right? What would the Huituang Chamber of Commerce want with your Merlin? Zuo Wenshan found it hard to believe. They are acting too aggressively. I'm basically a puppet now, with no autonomy at all. So I plan to relocate the settlement. I'll need Brother Zuo's help with this. Guang Kaming grabbed Zuo Wenshan's shoulders and said, relocate? Relocate where? Zuo Wenshan was still completely in the dark. You are the mayor of Mazhao City. Help me find a place. Anywhere is fine, as long as we can't stay in Merlin. Guang Kaming said. Wait. Tell me first, what exactly happened? Zuo Wenshan comforted him, telling him not to rush and to clarify the situation first. Guang Kaming recounted the whole affair. Old Guang, you're so muddled. Such a good thing. Why are you going against him? Zuo Wenshan reprimanded him after listening. He came to me, hoping I would take on his project. Why? Can't I fight for more benefits for the settlement? Guang Kaming believed he had done the right thing. First of all, you need to understand one thing. Is he asking you to do him a favor, or is he taking care of you, giving you benefits? Can't you distinguish between these two things? Zuo Wenshan hit the nail on the head. This? Guang Kaming was dumbfounded. Why didn't President Niu come to my Suiyang settlement, but went to your Merlin? Let me put it this way, if it were me, I would have agreed without hesitation. Why? Crystal cores are money. Producing crystal cores is like printing money. You actually rejected such a good thing and want to run away? You're really something, Zuo Wenshan said, giving him a thumbs up to express his admiration. Guang Kaming was speechless. What's the situation with the Huituang Chamber of Commerce now? Which settlement in the whole country doesn't know, doesn't understand? They are taking the initiative to come to your door to give you an opportunity. That's because they are thinking of old times. Yet you're demanding benefits from them. Isn't that just being greedy and insatiable? Zuo Wenshan continued to lecture. Whether it's good or bad depends on whether the settlement is under my management. Put yourself in my shoes. If you were the person in charge of the Merlin settlement, the Huituang Chamber of Commerce would give you some resources, but they would want you to listen to them in everything. Would you be willing? Guang Kaming retorted. This? Zuo Wenshan was at a loss for words. That's it. It's useless to say anything else now. I can't be a puppet mayor. You quickly help me find a place. I need to arrange the relocation as soon as possible. Guang Kaming urged. Alright. I'll help you look. Zuo Wenshan didn't say any more, and walked to the map hanging on the wall to look. How about here? Zuo Wenshan asked, pointing to a spot on the map. Huangqiao? Guang Kaming asked. Yes, it's not far from Merlin, and it has a considerable amount of housing, which can be used after a simple cleaning. However, you'll have to figure out the city walls yourself, Zuo Wenshan said. Okay, let's go with this place. I'll go back now and relocate overnight, Guang Kaming said, about to leave. Old Guang, Zuo Wenshan called out. What's wrong? Guangqiming had already reached the door and turned back to ask, "Have you thought it through? There's no turning back once the arrow is released. Once you move, you'll be completely breaking with the Huatuang Chamber of Commerce. And without the support of the Chamber of Commerce, I'm afraid your settlement stays won't be easy." Zhuo Wenxian advised again, "I have no choice anymore, I'll take it one step at a time." Guangqiming planned to go all the way to the end. After Guangqiming left, Zhuo Wenxian picked up the letter in his hand, lost in thought. In the middle of the night, Niu Xingwang was woken up by a call from Gu Qingyu. It turned out that the staff of the Merlin branch reported that Guangqiming was planning to run away with the people. This Guangqiming, he really doesn't make people worry. Niu Xingwang shook his head. He knew that Guangqiming's official addiction was too great, and he didn't want to lose the power in his hands. Notify the mercenary guild. Let's do it. After Niu Xingwang issued the order, he fell asleep again since Guangqiming wanted to choose confrontation, then he would no longer be polite. Chapter 369. I've been looking forward to this day. Everyone, stop. Listen up, everyone. Guangqiming is colluding with a cult and wants to lead you all to your deaths. Don't be fooled by him. Once you leave, you're doomed. Several anti-gravity aircraft hovered over Milan, someone shouting from above, "Now, listen to my orders, everyone go home and do not leave the city under any circumstances." Guangqiming, for his own selfish reasons, is planning to lead everyone to their deaths. Don't be fooled. The planes shouted the same message over and over, aiming to ruin Guangqiming's reputation. The people didn't know the truth and stood on the streets. At a loss, they dared not leave the city, nor dared they return home, and could only huddle together on the road, discussing amongst themselves. Guangqiming was shocked to see this. Don't believe them, it's not true. They're talking nonsense. How could I collude with a cult? He hurriedly explained to the staff in the command center. But in this kind of situation, explaining is the same as covering up. Whether he was colluding with a cult or not wasn't the point. The point was that everyone would rather believe it than risk it. Guangqiming's sudden request for everyone to leave in the middle of the night was already suspicious. Now that both the Huatuang Chamber of Commerce and the Mercenary Guild were saying this, it must be true. What are you all standing around here for? Hurry up and go do your jobs. Tell everyone that this is all a conspiracy by the Huatuang Chamber of Commerce. They just want to seize power. Guangqiming said. He urged them for a long time, but no one moved. The Huatuang Chamber of Commerce wants to seize power. The staff's true thoughts were, "That's great. Come on." They couldn't wait to join the Chamber of Commerce. Life would be so much better. Many people from Milan had gone to work at the Chamber of Commerce headquarters, and it was said that the conditions there were outrageously good. Everyone had been looking forward to this day for a long time. There were already many such rumors circulating. Everyone believed that since the Huatuang Chamber of Commerce was born in Milan, it should build its headquarters there. After learning that Guangqiming was unwilling and had driven Niu Xingwang away, they all thought he was short-sighted and didn't deserve to be the mayor. Mayor Guang, I don't think it's a bad thing for the Huatuang Chamber of Commerce to seize power. I suggest you step down. It would be a good thing for Milan, a staff member said. What are you saying? Nonsense. This is a rebellion, don't you understand? As a national civil servant, how can you say such a thing? What about your awareness? What about your position? Guangqiming was furious to hear this. Oh, come on. You're just saying high-sounding words. Who doesn't know that you just can't bear to give up the position of mayor? Someone else spoke the truth. You? Guangqiming was about to scold when someone came in. Everyone, don't move. The Mercenary Guild is on a mission. The door of the command center was opened, and a group of fully armed mercenaries walked in, surrounding everyone. Yinghua, you? Guangqiming was a little incredulous to see that the leader who came in was Xiao Yinghua. Xiao Yinghua was the mole he had sent to the Huatuang Chamber of Commerce. Mayor Guang, I'm sorry, I've offended you. Xiao Yinghua walked up to him, politely replied, and then shouted, take him down. Xiao Yinghua, what are you doing? Guangqiming shouted loudly. Mayor Guang, I'm sorry, I can't just stand by and watch you kill the people. Xiao Yinghua said politely but firmly, everyone, I have been entrusted by the Huatuang Chamber of Commerce to clarify something. The Huatuang Chamber of Commerce has no intention of seizing the administrative power of Milan. Today's action is only to crush Guangqiming's conspiracy. As for who will be in charge of Milan in the future, everyone needs to choose for themselves. But one thing I want to say is that before Milan elects a new person in charge, I will be temporarily responsible for law and order. Xiao Yinghua said to the staff. He was reminding these people that if they wanted to gain power, they could do so through democratic elections. No one should think about inciting the people and engaging in a military coup. You, surnamed Guang, tell me, where's my Lao Zu? Just as Xiao Yinghu finished speaking, a disheveled middle-aged woman ran in from outside the door. Take her away. He didn't know what was going on and didn't intend to pay attention to it. You can't go. You can't go. Tell me, where's my Lao Zu? The woman stopped the mercenaries from leaving and ran over to grab Gong Kaming tightly. Madam, if you have anything, you can go to the mercenary guild. He will be temporarily detained there. Xiao Yinghu frowned and said, okay. Thank you. I'll go with you. The woman didn't seem to be making trouble unreasonably after people learned that Gong Kaming had been arrested. The farce quickly subsided early the next morning. Niu Xingwang returned to the Milan resettlement area. What's going on? As soon as Niu Xingwang entered the gate of the mercenary guild, he saw the middle-aged woman. Her attire was out of place here, making it hard not to notice her. Guild leader, she's looking for Gong Kaming. I heard that her husband is missing, and she came to ask him for him, a mercenary reported. Chapter 370, The disaster does not affect wife and children. Looking for Gong Kaming to get someone? Do you know her name? Niu Xingwang asked curiously. She keeps calling him Old Zhu. I don't know his specific name. Should I go over and ask? The mercenary replied. Oh, never mind. Just leave it at that. Niu Xingwang wasn't interested in knowing who it was. Milan. There were no people or things there he cared about. Walking into the office where Gong Kaming was being held, Niu Xingwang said, Gong Kaming, not bad. Actually planning to run away with all the residents of the city? Probably the only one in all of China. Humph. Stop being so smug. Publicly detaining a state public servant, you won't have a good outcome either. Gong Kaming glanced at him sideways. I'm also thinking about the residents of the city. A person like you is simply not worthy of being a local official, Niu Xingwang said. Ha. Niu Xingwang, oh Niu Xingwang, your words sound better than singing. Dare you say you don't want to take Milan for yourself? Gong Kaming said disdainfully. Not really. Based on the current strength of the Chamber of Commerce, building a resettlement area several times larger than Milan would be no problem. What use would I have for your Milan resettlement area? Niu Xingwang said. Then why don't you choose to build one, instead of trying to seize mine? Gong Kaming asked. Mayor Gong is probably mistaken. I'm not thinking of seizing yours. Now that you're stepping down, it won't be the Huituang Chamber of Commerce taking over, Niu Xingwang said. Humph. Telling ghost stories. Just finding a puppet, right? Can't fool me, believe it or not. I'm here today to ask you one thing. Where did you go last night? Who did you meet? Niu Xingwang asked. He knew he went to the Suiyang resettlement area and met Zuo Wenchen. But he still had to ask. No comment. Gong Kaming ignored his question. That's right. Where are your wife and children? Where did they go? Niu Xingwang asked deliberately. You're too despicable, aren't you? Gong Kaming was a little angry. Mayor Guang, why do you say that? I'm just asking out of concern. What are you thinking? The harm shouldn't extend to wife and children. You can't be so disgusting. You think I'm like you? Enough nonsense. Answer my question. Niu Xingwang wasn't interested in wasting time with him. Don't touch my family. As long as you cooperate, they will definitely live well. Okay. I hope you keep your word. I will. I went to the Suiyang resettlement area and met Zuo Wenchen. Gong Kaming said the answer. This was consistent with the information he had. What did you do seeing him? Niu Xingwang asked. He is the mayor of Maziao City. The resettlement area is going to be relocated, so of course, I asked him to help me find a place. Gong Kaming replied. Anything else? Niu Xingwang asked. What else could there be? Mayor Guang, if you're like this, the promise just now won't count. There's really only this much? Gong Kaming wanted to be tough, but he didn't dare to, so he could only compromise. Guess if I go to see Mayor Zuo later, will he say the same thing as you? Niu Xingwang asked. Gong Kaming was stunned. Zuo Wenchen and he were old partners, so naturally, he trusted him, but in the face of, who dares to guarantee anything? Moreover, in case Niu Xingwang played tricks and used schemes, things might be leaked. He now had to make a choice, whether to risk stubbornly denying it, or to reveal the existence of that letter. But on second thought, if he stubbornly denied it, there would still be a glimmer of hope to wait for someone from the military and political department to come. If he confessed to the existence of that letter, he was afraid that he would really have no hope at all. So now there was no room for choice. He could only stubbornly deny it. You can ask whoever you want. If it doesn't exist, it doesn't exist, Gong Kaming said. Alright, then Mayor Guang, you must remember, This is the last time I'm asking you. Once the matter is investigated, you won't have a chance, Niu Xingwang threatened. Investigate as you please. Gong Keiming lowered his head, not looking at him anymore. Niu Xingwang nodded. Okay, he said the word okay, then turned and left. Suiyang Resettlement Area, President Niu, what brings you here suddenly? Zhuo Wenxin asked. Mayor Zhuo, did Mayor Gong come to see you last night? Niu Xingwang got straight to the point. That's right, he did come. How do you know? Zhuo Wenxin looked like he didn't know what happened. Mayor Zhuo, would it be convenient for you to say, what did he come to you for? Niu Xingwang asked. Zhuo Wenxin frowned. Logically speaking, Zhuo Wenxin was an official, and Niu Xingwang was a civilian, so this tone of interrogation was not in accordance with the rules. But now, no one cared about that. Oh, nothing inconvenient. He said he wanted to relocate the resettlement area and asked me to find him a new place. Zhuo Wenxin replied. Niu Xingwang nodded. President Niu, to be honest, I also know a little bit about this matter. This Gong Keiming is just a bit obsessed with being an official, and he values this power more, but he doesn't have any other thoughts. I think there's no need for you to have such a big conflict. What do you say? Zhuo Wenxin sounded like he wanted to mediate. Chapter 371. Contents of the letter. Mayor Zhuo, if I were to say there's no personal conflict involved here, I doubt you'd agree. But you don't need to bring this matter up again, because Gong Keiming has already been arrested by me, Niu Xingwang said. What? This? Mayor Gong is a government official. You can't just do that, it's against the rules, Zhuo Wenxin said in surprise. Whether it's according to the rules isn't up to you to decide. You understand what I mean, right? Niu Xingwang stared directly at him. He was warning Zhuo Wenxin not to interfere in matters that weren't his concern. Whether it was according to the rules had nothing to do with his Suiyang resettlement. I understand. Zhuo Wenxin didn't dare to say another word. Mayor Zhuo, besides asking you to find him a place, did Gong Keiming come to you for anything else? Niu Xingwang asked. This, Zhuo Wenxin hesitated. Niu Xingwang noticed this slight hesitation. Mayor Zhuo, you must understand that secrets don't stay hidden forever. Even if you don't say anything now, I believe it will eventually come out, and the situation will be much more awkward than it is now. Niu Xingwang threatened. He knew that Zhuo Wenxin most likely wouldn't dare to take the risk within the foreseeable future. He couldn't do without the Huituang Chamber of Commerce, but the secret also had the risk of being exposed. Niu Xingwang was actually just bluffing. He didn't know if Gong Keiming had said anything else. Zhuo Wenxin also knew that he could choose not to say anything about this matter, and there wouldn't be any problems in the short term. But Gong Keiming had asked him to hand over that letter, and it was uncertain whether the military and political department could keep it a secret for him. Once the matter of that letter was exposed, he, Zhuo Wenxin, would very likely follow in Gong Keiming's footsteps. Yes, there was. He also gave me a letter, and told me that if anything happened to him, I should hand it over to the military and political department on his behalf. Zhuo Wenxin finally chose to reveal this matter. Oh? Where's the letter? Niu Xingwang became interested. He really wanted to know what message Gong Keiming could bring to the military and political department. I'll get it for you. Zhuo Wenxin immediately walked towards his desk. He opened a drawer, took out a letter from a file bag, and handed it to Niu Xingwang. Niu Xingwang looked at the envelope. It was sealed and showed no signs of being opened. He glanced at Zhuo Wenxin, then decisively tore open the envelope, took out the letter, and began to read it. After reading the letter, Niu Xingwang was drenched in sweat. Zhuo Wenxin deliberately stood far away, indicating that he didn't want to know what was written inside. This letter was written to Liu Fiang, and it mentioned several key points. 1. The Huituang Chamber of Commerce had mastered the manufacturing method of antigen serum a long time ago, and had injected all the mercenaries of the mercenary guild. This was something Niu Xingwang had told him, as he needed to use this point to gain a foothold in Merlin Station at the time. He was certain that Gong Keiming wouldn't be foolish enough to make this secret public. 2. There was also a mysterious organization behind the Huituang Chamber of Commerce. According to his investigation, this mysterious organization was in Binjiang, and its location was in Binjiang Park in the West City Development Zone. Logically speaking, Gong Keiming shouldn't have known this, which greatly shocked Niu Xingwang. 3. The leader of this mysterious organization was a young man in his early 20s named Dongfang Chen. When he saw Dongfang Chen's name prominently displayed on the paper, Niu Xingwang felt a buzzing in his head. If these things were exposed, Binjiang would be in danger. Have you read this letter? Niu Xingwang asked very seriously. No, after he gave it to me, I immediately put it away. Zhuo Wenxin quickly clarified. Very good. Mayor Zhuo, I have something else to attend to, so I'll leave first. I will definitely repay you handsomely in the future. Niu Xingwang sighed in relief and said goodbye. Oh. Okay. Chairman Niu, take care. Zhuo Wenxian quickly bowed and made a gesture of invitation. Niu Xingwang nodded, then hurriedly went out and left. After Niu Xingwang left, Zhuo Wenxian straightened his back and fell into deep thought again. Inside the Binjiang main underground base, Mr. Dongfang, something bad has happened. Take a look at this. Niu Xingwang rushed to find Dongfang Chen in a hurry. Dongfang Chen took the letter and began to read it. This is nothing, Brother Niu. Why are you so nervous? Dongfang Chen said with a smile. This is nothing. What if people find out about your existence, the existence of this base? Do you know how serious the consequences would be? Niu Xingwang's words even carried a hint of scolding. Dongfang Chen was not annoyed, made a gesture of invitation, and asked him to sit down. Brother Niu, what if they find out? Can they eat me? Dongfang Chen continued to smile. Be serious. This is not the time to be joking. Do you know that your safety is related to the future and destiny of tens of thousands of employees of the Chamber of Commerce and the Guild? Is this a child's play? Niu Xingwang had become like a parent at this time. Alright, Brother Niu. You're making too much of it. To be honest, I didn't think this through at the time. After the resettlement was established in Binjiang, some people in the base wanted to leave. I thought that forced melons are not sweet, so I let them go. Dongfang Chen said. How many people left? Niu Xingwang asked. 4. Dongfang Chen replied. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 372. Gong Kaming was shot in public. Do you remember the names of those 4 people? Niu Xingwang asked. Their names are Zumaya Shuang, Deng Wen, Chushi, and Liu Qing. Dongfang Chen said. Zumaya Shuang, Zhu. Niu Xingwang felt like he'd heard that name somewhere, but he just couldn't recall where. But don't worry, I've already taken care of this matter. Dongfang Chen gave him a reassuring look. How did you handle it? Niu Xingwang asked. He could be considered a badass today. Usually, he respectfully called him Mr. Dongfang, but now he was actually questioning him. I had Brother Zhang arrest them. Dongfang Chen replied. Niu Xingwang nodded. When did you arrest them? A long time ago. Back when you were still in Milan, Gong Kaming sent people to Binjiang to investigate secretly. I discovered it. At the time, I felt that this matter was suspicious, and it was very likely that one of those 4 people had leaked information, so I had Brother Zhang take them all away. Dongfang Chen explained. At that time, Zhang Yuanka was in Milan arranging the affairs of the mercenary guild. That's good. Niu Xingwang breathed a sigh of relief. We still need to be extra careful in our actions in the future, Niu Xingwang suggested. Don't worry. Since the Firefly project started, everything has been meticulously planned, and this kind of thing won't happen again, Dongfang Chen guaranteed. That's good. I'm sorry, Mr. Dongfang, my attitude was a bit bad just now. Niu Xingwang began to apologize. It's okay, I think it's great, Dongfang Chen said with a smile. Only true comrades on the same front line would care so much about each other's safety. Mr. Dongfang, where are the 4 people we just mentioned being held? Niu Xingwang asked. They are in the main base. Don't worry, they can't fly out of there even with wings, Dongfang Chen replied. That's good. Niu Xingwang was completely relieved. After clarifying the whole story, Niu Xingwang returned to Milan. As soon as he entered, he saw a haggard woman sitting in the hall. Niu Xingwang finally remembered where he had heard the surname Zhu before. So, he walked up to the woman and stood in front of her. Madam, let me ask you, what is your husband's name? Niu Xingwang asked. Zhu. Zumaya Shuang, the woman replied nervously. Oh, okay, I understand. Niu Xingwang turned to leave. Hey, boss, do you know where my husband is? The woman quickly stepped forward to stop him. I'm sorry, I don't know yet, but I'll ask for you. Niu Xingwang replied. There was no way he could let her see Zumaya Shuang now. Then thank you. The woman bowed. Niu Xingwang didn't stop her, just nodded slightly, and then turned to leave. Gong Kaming, not bad, you even hid this from me, Niu Xingwang said as he entered the detention room, pulled over a chair, and sat down. Hearing this, Gong Kaming felt that the situation was not good, and he looked up at him nervously, trying to find some answers from his expression. Don't bother looking. I can tell you, Zhuo Wenxian has already told me everything. Niu Xingwang said with a smile. No. Impossible. He wouldn't betray me. Guang Kaiming shook his head frantically. You're an old hand in the officialdom, don't you think about it? When choosing between you and the Huatuang Chamber of Commerce, would he choose to betray you or betray the Chamber of Commerce? Niu Xingwang said sarcastically. You're trying to trick me, aren't you? Give up that idea, I won't fall for it. Guang Kaiming seemed to realize something. Looks like you won't give up until you're faced with death. Let me ask you, where's Zumaya Ashuang? Niu Xingwang asked. You? Guang Kaiming was completely desperate. As soon as Niu Xingwang mentioned Zumaya Ashuang, he knew that Zhuo Wenshan had already confessed. To be honest, getting to this point today is entirely your own fault. I already have the evidence in hand, so you don't need to have any unrealistic fantasies anymore. Originally, you and your family could have lived peacefully. But now, there's no chance, Niu Xingwang said. I beg you, don't kill them. They don't know anything about this, Guang Kaiming said anxiously. I'm sorry, Mayor Guang. This matter is too involved, and I can't leave any hidden dangers. Who knows if you have any other tricks up your sleeve, right? Niu Xingwang said. No. There really aren't any, Guang Kaiming denied. But I don't believe you. Niu Xingwang looked at him. Men, drag him out and execute him publicly, Niu Xingwang shouted. Niu Xingwang, you will be punished for doing this. Niu Xingwang, you don't even spare women and children. Are you even human? The mercenaries dragged him out, shouting loudly. Niu Xingwang didn't look at him again, but walked back to the hall. Madam, I have already asked. Your husband, Zumaya Ashuang, and several others were all killed by him. Now, Guang Kaiming is about to be publicly executed. You can go and see. Niu Xingwang lied. This was the first time he had given the order to kill someone. And he also had to lie to a poor woman, which made him feel a little uncomfortable, but there was no other way. He absolutely couldn't allow the Chamber of Commerce to have an accident, and he couldn't let Dongfang Chen have an accident for this. He would rather be a villain. Chapter 373 Niu Xingwang's routine. This old Zhu, he is really gone. The woman was a little incredulous. Please accept my condolences. Niu Xingwang consoled her before turning to leave. You, Guang, you son of a bitch, how could you be so heartless? The woman broke down and immediately rushed towards Guang Kaiming. Guang Kaiming's mouth had already been sealed, and he couldn't say anything. The people, knowing that Guang Kaiming had treated human life like dirt, were all cursing him vehemently from the sidelines. The resettlement camp would naturally handle the aftermath. Niu Xingwang had no interest in paying attention and left directly by plane afterward. Zhang Yuanka notified the mercenary guild branch of the Suiyang resettlement camp to quietly take Guang Kaiming's wife and children away. When Niu Xingwang returned to the Chamber of Commerce headquarters, the mayors of Jingmen City and Lezhou City had already arrived with the mayors of several surrounding cities. The purpose of their visit was twofold. First, to see the feed production equipment, and second, to inquire about the procurement policy. Niu Xingwang didn't even bother to rest, and directly led them towards the underground parking apron. So big, Mayor Su exclaimed when he saw the behemoth that was dozens of meters long. Of course, otherwise. Why would it be so expensive? Niu Xingwang said with a smile. Several mayors all nodded, expressing their agreement. They just wanted to see what they were actually getting for 20 million crystal cores. Now that they had seen it, they could finally rest assured. Do you want to go up and take a look? Niu Xingwang asked. After all, they were the buyers, so he had to give them a demonstration. Sure, can we? Mayor Su seemed uninterested. After all, he didn't understand production equipment at all. Of course, everyone, please follow me, Niu Xingwang said with a smile. The aircraft's boarding ladder slowly lowered, and several mayors followed Niu Xingwang up. This is the cockpit, which can accommodate 16 operators at the same time, Niu Xingwang introduced. Cockpit? This thing can run. Mayor Wang Lexin of Lezhou City seized on a key word. Niu Xingwang hadn't introduced it in too much detail in order to make it easier for them to understand. He only said it was feed production equipment, but he didn't say it was an aircraft. It can fly, Niu Xingwang said with a smile. This is an aircraft, equipped with a total of 12 engines, 8 at the bottom and 4 on the sides. It also integrates fully automatic fishing equipment and a fully automatic feed production line. This way, you can produce feed with one click simply by operating the aircraft. Hiss! The mayors all gasped when they heard this. Now, do you still think the price of 20 million is too expensive? Niu Xingwang asked with a smile. Not expensive. Absolutely not expensive. It's simply too cheap, Wang Lexin replied. I won't demonstrate the specific operating procedures to you. I will arrange for staff to conduct special training at that time, so you don't have to worry about that, Niu Xingwang said. Don't worry. Don't worry, Mayor Su said with a smile. Okay, then everyone, please follow me back to the office. Let's sign the contract. Niu Xingwang signaled everyone to get off the plane. Back in the office, Chairman Niu, how will the crystal cores be paid in installments? Mayor Su asked. Here's the thing, in order to simplify the workflow, I'll just tell you the most suitable plan for you. Niu Xingwang said. Okay, Chairman Niu, please speak. Mayor Su gestured for him to go ahead. In the early stages, for every bag of feed produced by the aircraft, we will extract 10 crystal cores. Once the equipment cost of 20 million crystal cores plus interest has been fully extracted, the aircraft will be yours, Niu Xingwang said. This is good. Mayor Su immediately made a decision this way. There was no need for a large crystal core cost in the early stages. He was even starting to not want to partner with the other cities. What? Do you all want to get one? Niu Xingwang had already guessed their thoughts. This, is it possible? Wang Lexin hurriedly asked, embarrassed without the financial pressure. Wouldn't it be great for their own resettlement camp to just get one? They could sell the unused feed to other resettlement camps. They just needed to trick them into raising rats. As long as there were enough people raising rats, would they have to worry about selling the feed? It's possible, but there's a bit of risk involved. Niu Xingwang pretended to be in a difficult position. In fact, he was doing it on purpose. This was also the reason why he had tricked the two mayors into bringing several other mayors over. He called it sharing the pressure, but in reality, he wanted to sell a few more units. Once they bought the aircraft, they would actively trick the surrounding resettlement camps into raising rats. This way, he wouldn't have to worry about the later stages himself. These shrewd people were definitely highly efficient. Of course, Dongfang Chen wouldn't let him sell the equipment without limit, and he also needed to consider everyone's repayment pressure. Therefore, after a certain number of units were sold, he wouldn't sell any more. Don't worry, I guarantee that people will rest, but the equipment won't. In this case, the meaning of one resettlement camp doing it is the same as multiple resettlement camps doing it together. Mayor Su persuaded. That's true. Then we need to write clearly in the contract that if you can't repay the loan, I will have to take back the aircraft. Niu Xingwang pretended to be reluctant. No problem. The mayors were overjoyed. This was a money printing machine. They had made a fortune this time. Chapter 374 New Functions of the Space Station. Binjiang Underground Main Base. Commander, the core module data transfer is complete. Do you want to activate the new core module? Xiaolin asked. Activate it, Dongfang Chen replied. Okay, Commander. The switching process will cause a 5-second system interruption. Do you want to continue? Continue. Okay, switching in progress. The screen went dark for a few seconds before lighting up again. Commander, the core module has been successfully activated, and the new functions are now available. New functions. Dongfang Chen was a little surprised. He thought it was just a data migration, but he didn't expect there would be a functional expansion. Yes, Commander. The original core module was designed to ensure the space station expanded according to plan, so functions unrelated to that were not activated, Xiaolin explained. Then what new functions have been added? Dongfang Chen asked. The new functions are technology tree, task management system, and database. The technology tree will compile all the technologies the space station has mastered into a tree-like structure diagram, making it easier for you to fully control the development progress of the space station. The task management system will help you organize system tasks and custom tasks and optimize task processes. The database opens up all the technical data and literature stored in the space station for you to consult at any time. Xiaolin introduced each function. Open the technology tree, Dongfang Chen said. Okay, Commander, the technology tree is now open. Immediately afterward, a very complex tree-like structure diagram appeared on the screen. Each rectangular box on the diagram represents a technology, and the arrows between these boxes indicate the inheritance relationship. Some technologies have multiple arrows pointing to different boxes, indicating that this technology is the basis of multiple technologies. Some technologies also gather multiple arrows, indicating that this technology requires multiple technologies as prerequisites. These rectangular boxes and arrows form a dense network of line branches, looking like a tangled mess. At the very bottom of the classification tree is the technology classification, including mining, communication, materials, energy, biology, medical, and many other types. In this huge classification tree, Only a few technology boxes at the bottom are lit up, and the others are gray. Obviously, he has not mastered most of the technologies. No, to be precise, the current base and space station have not unlocked them yet. Then why can't these technologies be unlocked directly? There are two reasons. One is that the ground base has not developed to that level, and the other is that the space station has not been built yet and does not have the modules to provide those technologies. After reading the technology tree, Dongfang Chen opened the project management system. Currently displayed is the entire task line of the Firefly project. This interface looks like a very complex Gantt chart, showing the overall situation of the task according to different task lines and different time nodes. To be honest, this chart has too much content and is not for humans to read. Even if you don't have trypophobia, it is difficult to grasp the progress of the entire task by viewing this chart. However, Dongfang Chen doesn't need to worry about all this. Xiaolin will monitor the entire task line in real time and assist him in completing the entire project. This is where artificial intelligence is more powerful than humans. A person can only control a few things at the same time at most, right? Any more than that, and the brain simply can't process it. But artificial intelligence, with sufficient computing power, can monitor any number of event lines simultaneously without making any mistakes. The Firefly project is a very large systematic project. One is that the time is long, and the task cycle is 3 years. The second is that there are very many task lines, including the development of the base, the development of the Chamber of Commerce, and the Mercenary Guild. Each task line contains multiple sub-task lines. Big and small things must be done according to the plan, otherwise, there may be a situation where the entire plan is seriously affected because a small thing is not done well. This fully confirms a sentence: the world's difficult things must be done easily, and the world's big things must be done in detail. Dongfang Chen glanced at it casually and didn't continue to look. With Xiaolin helping him deal with it, he didn't need to spend the effort. Finally, Dongfang Chen couldn't see the entrance to the database function at all. Xiaolin, can't I see the database? Dongfang Chen asked. Commander, you only need to ask me, Xiaolin replied. Okay, I understand. With Xiaolin as a search engine, he has no interest in browsing the database himself. How is the construction of the base in Ulan country going? Dongfang Chen changed the subject. It's 18% complete, Xiaolin replied. By the way, the signal tower in Bardo City has been left there all the time. Will it become a target for attack? Although the people of the Mani sect have withdrawn, I don't think they will easily give up their investigation there, Dongfang Chen said. Commander, you don't need to worry. The top of the signal tower has now been equipped with a spherical laser emitter, which can 100% intercept any form of physical attack, Xiaolin explained. Chapter 375 Energy Shield. The so-called interception of physical attacks refers to intercepting attack types that use physical objects as carriers, such as airplanes, bullets, and shells. However, biochemical and energy-based attacks cannot be defended against. It's still not safe enough. In their eyes, the signal tower has withstood the dung beetle's attack. So, if I'm not mistaken, they will definitely continue to try various methods to find effective ways to counter it. For us, the signal tower is a symbol. It represents invincibility and inviolability, so it absolutely cannot have any problems, Dongfang Chen said, shaking his head. The logic is simple. If they can't do anything to the signal tower, they won't dare to easily cause trouble. But if the signal tower is destroyed, the situation will be different. We all know that the signal tower is just a bluff, which can only work temporarily. If we want to achieve comprehensive protection, we need to unlock new technologies, Xiaolin replied. Which technology? Dongfang Chen asked. Controllable molecular resonance technology, also known as the energy shield, Xiaolin replied. Check the technology tree and mark the prerequisites for activating this technology, Dongfang Chen said, showing interest. This is great. With an energy shield, the base in Bardo City will be absolutely safe. Okay, Commander, the panel is open. Please check it, Xiaolin said. 3D nano printing technology, high temperature superconducting technology, weak force compression technology. Dongfang Chen read out the items on the panel one by one. He randomly clicked on a technology box to view the description. 3D nano printing technology, precision 0.5 to 10 nanometers, accurately prints materials according to the molecular formula and element doping ratio set by the program. The description is simple, but Dongfang Chen knew that this technology was not simple at all. Printing compounds directly according to the molecular formula was something he had never heard of before. This is basically equivalent to realizing the production of any solid compound and alloy at the micro level, directly eliminating production processes such as material purification, synthesis, and smelting. The advantage of doing this is extremely high purity and extremely stable performance. Note that there are two key words here, basically and extremely. That is to say, the accuracy of this technology is still somewhat insufficient, but it is enough for producing the materials needed for the energy shield. Also, this technology is fundamentally different from ordinary 3D printing. For example, to print a compound with a molecular formula NaCl. We all know that this is sodium chloride, commonly known as table salt. 3D nano printing technology can directly use chlorine atoms and sodium atoms to print this compound, which is amazing. This also requires consideration of the bond energy between atoms, which looks like a physical process and also like a chemical process. Of course, to realize this 3D nano printing technology, raw materials are definitely needed. This requires other technologies to refine these simple substances. Other technologies, such as high-temperature superconducting technology and weak force compression technology, were all unheard of by Dongfang Chen. Corresponding to these technologies, the main production modules that Dongfang Chen needs to add to the base include high-purity simple substance element production module, weak force compression module, strong beam container production module, superconducting material production module, and more than 10 other modules. With the technological achievements of the entire Nata civilization, Dongfang Chen doesn't need to use his brain or engage in research and development. He only needs to build the corresponding production modules according to the technical data to activate these technologies. Moreover, he doesn't need to put in any effort in the construction process. He only needs to make decisions and issue instructions. The working principle of the energy shield is as follows. First, a core controller is needed, called a strong beam pulse resonator. Using controllable molecular resonance technology, a protective molecular layer of a specific shape can be formed around the protected object. The thickness of this protective layer depends on the power of the resonator, and the composition is a simple substance molecule. Radon. The operation of the shield requires a lot of energy, so it is not normally turned on, which is called the ground state. In the ground state, this protective layer seems to be completely non-existent, and any substance, including air, can easily penetrate it. But in the excited state, any substance that approaches the shield will be unloaded or even erased. Unloading energy requires less energy. The working principle is the same as Tai Chi. After an object hits the shield at high speed, the energy shield is activated and enters the excited state. The kinetic energy of the object is absorbed by the high-speed moving molecules on the shield and spread to other parts of the shield through vibration, thereby achieving energy unloading. Therefore, during this process, the shield will emit blue, red, or purple light, as well as ripples similar to those on the surface of water. Erasing requires more energy. Radon molecules on the shield have a large atomic mass. After entering the excited state, they obtain kinetic energy for high-speed movement. Once it comes into contact with an object, it will instantly molecularize it, resulting in an effect similar to erasing. The shield can protect against any form of attack, even energy attacks. Its range of use is very wide, from a small protective suit to a large city, even a country, a planet. As long as there is a large enough strong beam pulse resonator and enough energy, it can protect everything. Of course, this also includes space stations and starships. End of this chapter. Thank you so much for reading until the end. Don't forget to give it a like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription or donation encourages us to continue. Thank you all. See you in the next video.